Well, there's my beautiful podcast, people. Everybody good? All right, great to hear. Thanks, as always, for listening to the podcast. And, of course, thanks to our friends at Standard Heating and Air Conditioning for making it all possible. Can we believe it's April already? And like the old saying goes, April showers brings gross, disgusting humidity and heat in May. Beat the heat and the summer rush. Have Standard Heating and Air Conditioning out to work on that AC soon. April is the best month to get your air conditioning wrenched on before the huge summer rush starts. So get on that today. Go to standardheating.com and schedule that AC tune-up. Thanks for listening. We love you podcasters. Enjoy the show.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show. 93.
You know, I'm excited. Easter's this Sunday. Anyone excited about Easter?
We've been married 4 years. We've only fought one time in our entire life. And that was at Easter last year. But that was my fault, because I hold my farts in for Lent.
Like, the only thing that makes me realize that Easter comes along is that the Cadbury cream egg rears its ugly head yet again. Those things are disgusting. That's the worst thing you can have in your mouth besides, like, a hobo's thumb. It's so gross. Like, I don't know how that got pitched. There have to be, like, candy executives that pitch candy. Chad's got the idea. What do you got for Easter, Chad? Chocolate egg. There's something inside it. Boom. All right? And they're like, all right, awesome, Chad. What's inside it? Chocolate? More chocolate? No. Butterscotch? No. It's a sugary yolk. Yeah. It's like a sweet raw egg yolk. It's like an undeveloped chicken fetus inside an egg.
Krispy Kreme has unveiled a new donut, which is dipped in blue icing and topped with green sprinkles and a sugar bunny in honor of Easter. The way it works is you eat a box of them and you're dead for 3 days.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Happy Easter.
the weekend.
Yeah. These things happen. You go this way, you go that way, you turn around, and it's the weekend. Or damn near. Welcome to the Good Friday edition of the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show. A friend of mine called me last night, Josh, and asked if I had today off. And being that I'm not the most religious guy in town, I asked him, I said, well, is tomorrow a holiday? And said, yeah, ho, it's Good Friday. Good Friday, bitch, he said. Did we miss out on an opportunity for a day off?
I don't know that's certainly not a company day off.
Oh.
To me, that's not a traditional day off unless you're in Catholic school, which I was.
Oh.
So a lot of times we would have Good Friday off.
All right. Easter weekend, sure.
So does he work at a Catholic school or something?
No.
Huh.
No,
does he have the day off?
I didn't ask him if he had a day off. Maybe that was very rude of me, because he asked me if I had today off.
And he never thought to ask him?
I never thought to ask him. No, he doesn't work at a Catholic school or anything, for Christ's sake. Can you imagine if I knew someone who worked at a Catholic school?
Well, I know people that work at schools, so I could see it.
He works at a car dealership or something. No, but he does come from a very Catholic family.
Oh, so maybe that's just something they do in their family.
Could be. He asked me, you got tomorrow off? I said, no, I don't even know what tomorrow is. It's Good Friday. Easter always makes me think of my very first official career hangover. Overhang. I woke up on Easter Sunday of 1989. I was a 17-year-old kid in the spring of 89. I woke up way too early. And I asked myself, what is this horrible feeling that I have? Did I wake up in the middle of the night and smash myself in the skull with a socket wrench? But it was a hangover. I'd never had one before. I'd heard of them. Drinking canned Budweiser and playing strip poker with some gals down the street until 5 a.m. And then my mother waking me up at 8:30 in the morning. That's what did the trick. That's what set into motion my very first career hangover.
I was just going to ask if you had done any abnormal drinking, maybe drink something you don't normally do, like whiskey, but it sounds like it was just a lack of sleep. That's what killed you that day.
Yes. My mother made us breakfast on Easter Sunday of 89, which she never did, ever. And she made it really early in the morning. So she woke me up, woke all of us up for breakfast at 8:30, even though she knew that we all normally slept until 1 o'clock in the afternoon on most weekends.
Usually there's a warning like, hey, Sunday morning, we're going to have breakfast at 8:30. Nobody said anything.
She didn't say a word. It's very suspicious. Still to this day, it was very suspicious why she did that. And I was just a garbage can that morning, Cubby. A garbage can.
Question.
Yes?
As you guys know, I despise my genitals. I was taught to hate them.
Yes.
I have a lot of guilt. And possibly you could trace some of that back to years of Catholic school. And
Well, I don't think there's any question about it.
some of the lessons that were burned into our brains. I thought, hey, we get Good Friday off. It's Catholic school. People are texting in saying there's plenty of public schools that have today off as well. Why do I hate my penis for no reason? I could have had Good Friday off.
Oh, man.
And some people are saying that their jobs do recognize Good Friday as a holiday.
Oh. And my wife's got the day off from school. She teaches in a public school.
Oh, you should have thrown that out earlier. So
Why the hell didn't you say? Well, maybe the guy, my buddy who called me last night, maybe he does have today off.
A few people are saying it's considered like a floating holiday.
I'll be.
At their work, but I suppose I've worked here mostly the majority of my life. We've never had that off.
I've never had it off of school.
Does that sting at all, Josh, when you say that out loud, when you say you've worked here the majority of your life?
I remember that realization because both of us, we had a pact. We had a murder-suicide pact if we ever found ourselves working at a rock station in our 30s. We promised we were going to just die together in some way.
We didn't have the balls to go through with it.
Nah. I remember us, young men, looking at the people in the 30s working here going, losers. Look at those guys. And now I know the new people that come in here think the same about us. I'm sure of it.
So Good Friday, some of yous are off the hook today. That's wonderful to hear.
Well, yeah, I'm glad. I had no idea. There's no one that I know of, I guess, that has the day off outside of our friends texting in now.
I told my hangover story, and a couple people at least are texting in saying my mother knew that I was out all night, and she did the breakfast at 8:30 in the morning gimmick just to punish me. I suppose that's possible, but it was very suspicious. Number one, nobody was ever on their feet at 8:30 in my house. Not in not in '89.
Well, Sundays are usually the sleep-in day, right? You wake up at the very last minute to get to church if you're a churchgoer. And that's about it.
I was beyond that gimmick at that point in my life. I mean, yeah, when we were young kids, sure, you're up at the break of dawn, annoying little kid, yay, and all that crap. And by the time I was 17, we all slept till noon or so. So, very suspicious. Number one, she never cooked, and number two, nobody was up and around at 8:30.
Did you guys go to midnight mass? I loved that
No.
at Easter.
Well, I mean, once or twice, not as a kid, but as a grown person. I supported my mother once or twice as a grown person because she would sing in the choir at the silly midnight mass showdown.
We, as a family, we never went to church. Not once.
Not even on the big ones?
Nope.
No,
My dad was raised very Catholic. He was just surrounded by it when he was younger. So by the time he was an adult, he was
wanted
like, nope,
out.
no more.
Had enough.
He wanted out.
Yeah, my buddy with the childo, he's the same way. He grew up equally as Catholic, and he's like basically against it.
You do see that a lot.
Yeah. Backyard haircut Jesus. I've had this same thought. He said, it always struck me as odd that we Catholics named the day Jesus got clipped by the Romans Good Friday. He said, getting crucified seems like it would be more of a bummer. I always thought that too. That's not good. I understand it's like, well, he's dying for our sins and making that sacrifice. But my God, that was a terrible day. And if you saw the movie, now I'm forgetting the name of it.
Passion of
of Christ.
The Passion of the Christ.
That was a terrible day.
He didn't have a good...
He had a bad Friday.
He had a negative experience on that day. Yeah, like I've said before, our mother drug us kicking and screaming. I'm speaking specifically about my twin brother and I. My sister and my mother were always quite content, if not excited, to attend church. But my twin brother and I, kicked and screams. I mean, hanging on to the door as they're trying to drag us out. No, we hated church. And so my mother gave up on my brother and I when we were, 10 or something. We made such a stink about church that she just stopped trying. So I don't remember much about what it was like to sit there on Sundays because we were very young by the time we stopped. And when I was there, I usually just went to sleep or did my best to try to go to sleep. I was not a fan. Not a fan. All right. Today is a special day. Because today, aside from Good Friday and all that, right? Today, we're going to announce the winner of the free grass gimmick we've been working on for the past few days. So somebody's yard will soon be transformed into something beautiful. Folks sent in pictures here to the radio station for the last week and a half. Pictures of their dirt pit, dead spot, baby diaper yellow yards. Our listeners voted on which yard was in the worst shape. And so today, we're going to count up the votes and name the winner of a brand new effing lawn. That winner receives a makeover, if I could use that term, a yard makeover from the wonderful folks at A&L Sod in Lino Lakes. Thank you, A&L Sod, for being our pals on this deal because we love this bit. So sometime later on this morning, we will name that winner, and we're straight up pumped about it.
Yeah, I'm excited for them. Very excited. I hope, like I said, I hope they invite us to a barbecue or something like that.
That would be wonderful.
Is that rude to invite ourselves over to their house?
I think we already did a couple weeks. I think a week or so ago.
I mentioned it before.
Yeah.
I hope that's not a rude thing to request.
No one could ever consider you rude.
I don't know. I'll mow their lawn in appreciation. Their
Check
brand
'em.
new awesome lawn.
Yeah, check them out online. alsod.com next time you need a little work done at the yard.
And speaking of grass, shout out to a member of the Brotherhood, Ricky, who won a riding lawnmower last night at Brookdale, or where's it called? Blaine Brook Bowl.
Blaine Brook Bowl.
Yeah, it was a launch party for Pabst Light. There's a new Pabst Light beer. We had a big party. We gave a bunch of stuff away, and the grand prize was a riding lawnmower. And the kid named Ricky won it. And, he was pumped. He was fired up. He was running around the bar, high-fiving everybody.
Oh, I'd be very excited.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
It was fun to watch.
I'm glad Craftsman's still around. I thought when Sears went down, maybe it went down with it, but that's great. I had a lot of craft. I've got a couple of Craftsman. For a guy that doesn't know how to do anything, I could start my own contracting business with the tools I've acquired over the years.
Yeah.
And I've got a couple of those big Craftsman toolboxes. I love them.
Maybe you just rent them out to the guys in the neighborhood or something.
I would. Go ahead and use it. I should put like a flyers out. Hey, if anybody needs something, just come on over. You can borrow it. Like instead of those little libraries, I'll have a tool library.
There you go.
You can just check one out.
You would never get that stuff back.
Yeah, you're probably right.
I miss having a riding lawnmower so much. That was so much fun.
Yeah, I've never had one. Always wanted one. Specifically, I want one of those zero-turn mowers, and I want to haul ass. I want to go so fast on that.
I was never a huge fan of the zero turn.
Never tried one. But that's what I drive around the property, Cubby. I've got myself a Craftsman. I go all over the place. I do.
You go like this way?
Yeah.
You turn around and you go that way?
I sure do.
That's awesome.
I think that's what I had too, Nick. One of the reasons why I was never a huge fan of the zero turn is because you need both of your hands to operate it. And I liked to drink a beer while I was mowing the lawn. That's the whole point of mowing the lawn.
I'd like to drink a beer, too, while mowing the lawn, but my lawn is so my property is so rough. It'd be like trying to drink a beer while driving a grave digger around the... I've tried it, and it just turns into foam.
Oh, my gosh.
You got to hang on with both hands on my friggin' riding lawnmower because my yard sucks.
So I don't have a riding lawnmower, but my wife's favorite picture of me is I look like something out of King of the Hill. I'm holding a hose, watering the lawn, and just in flip-flops, short T-shirt, and I'm drinking a beer for me, Diet Mountain Dew, just stand there, and I definitely look like I could easily be on King of the Hill.
Yeah.
I do love that picture, Josh.
Oh, you've seen it?
Yeah, you showed it to us before.
Oh, I have? Okay.
Yeah, it's very funny.
More anxiety than Hair Jesus said Menards carries Craftsman now. That's good. That just, I don't know. That reminds me of being a kid for whatever reason, seeing the Craftsman stuff.
I think I got mine at Lowe's, if I'm not mistaken. All right. Easter Sunday, Josh.
I love Easter.
You do?
Yep, it has the best holiday food, in my opinion.
In your opinion?
Yes. The
than-
ham and cheesy potatoes, yeah, it's the best.
I'll go along with it. I've got no reason to argue with you on that. Josh, your son, more importantly, my godson, too old now to do some of the silly kiddie stuff on Easter, isn't he?
Yeah, I don't think he's too interested.
Like if you set up an Easter egg hunt, he'd hate you.
I don't know, I guess. I don't think he'd be too
He'd say,
excited.
Dad, I'm 13 now. I don't need to do... And then he'd, pull the cigarettes out of his front shirt pocket, light one, and walk away, right? He's too old for that.
Some of these things are more important, I think, to my wife than the kids. Like, we haven't had any conversations about an Easter egg hunt, but I could see doing it just because my wife would want to do it.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
And you think the kid would go along with it?
Probably.
Oh.
I'll just tell him, hey, I put $10 in one of those eggs.
Oh, that would
just
work.
make your mother happy.
Oh, you have to. My brother, he has 3 kids. They're under the age of 12, and they still do huge Easter egg hunts, of course. And they also include the adults, and they have a rule, like if there's any eggs on the ground, don't pick them up. Those are for the kids. You guys have to get the more difficult ones. And I think it was maybe 3 years ago. It got to the point where if you were an adult picking up an Easter egg on the ground, he would shoot you with a BB gun from the deck.
That's awesome.
It was so much fun. One of my brothers just kept getting pelted.
I had a buddy who, when his kid was maybe one, pooped in one of those plastic surprise Easter eggs and gave it to his parents.
Don't do that.
I'm sorry, a 1-year-old?
Maybe 1 or 2. I can't remember. It was some toddler-ish.
Devious.
I don't think he was meaning to be devious. Like, hey, look what I made for you. I pooped in a plastic Easter egg.
Either way, I think we should get that kid on some sort of watch list.
Happy Easter.
Jesus, that's disgusting. Okay, so you're the Catholic around here, Cubby. Tell me about these Easter egg hunts. Because what I'm looking at right here is a list of the worst places people have found Easter eggs. Now, you just got to clear this up for me, because last time I was on an Easter egg hunt, I was 3 or something. Because this list, the worst places people have found Easter eggs. If someone found them, someone must have hidden them. Like, say, I'm trying my best to explain myself. One of the answers here to the worst places people have found Easter eggs is inside Grandma's personal massage drawer. So my question is, someone must have gone there to hide the Easter egg?
Yeah.
It could have been just leftovers from last year, too. They just put them wherever when you're done with them.
Well, it depends on if it's a real egg. I mean, Grandma probably doesn't want that in there.
Do people use real eggs? Don't do that.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow. I've always just seen the plastic ones.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah,
So-
we used to. Now
So
it's the plastic ones.
More or less, this is like a list of pranks you can pull on kids, because the grown folks are hiding these Easter eggs in these terrible places for children to find the egg.
Or maybe they just cracked the drawer and slid it in there, didn't really check out.
Didn't
what
know
was
it was
in there.
That'd be my
Grandma's
guess.
vibrator drawer.
It was
Yeah.
her top drawer, and they just chucked it in there.
Well, here's one where someone shoved an Easter egg into a fleshlight.
Oh, come on.
They could be an adult Easter egg hunt. I've
Oh,
seen plenty of those.
That's an adult one.
Okay,
Nobody's doing that to kids. That person would need to be on that watch list you were talking about.
Okay, that's why I asked. Because I'm not terribly familiar with how this works. Okay, and that makes more sense, because that's what I was sitting here thinking. Why would you want a child to find its grandmother's vibrator? Why would you want a child handling a fleshlight and things like that? So some of these must be adult Easter egg hunts. It's the first I've heard of that. Someone hid a Easter egg in a cat's litter box.
Oh.
You got to really want it.
Yeah, that's got to be one with a scratch off in it or something.
Someone hid an Easter egg in a used condom wrapper. Ugh. That makes it better. Used condom wrapper. Under someone's dirty underwear pile. Okay, that'd be funny to watch a kid sift through dirty underwear.
Yeah.
I'd go along with that.
I accidentally revealed my wife's dirty underwear to a guy yesterday.
How the heck did you do that, dude?
He was like, hey, he wanted to, he's working on our house, per usual. And he's like, hey, let's go take a look at this thing. And I thought, okay, here we go. And it was in our closet. And I didn't realize the hamper was full. Or right there, there's my wife's, like in his face, basically, as he's kneeling over looking at something.
Panties.
There's no way I could do anything about it without being completely obvious. So I'm going to have to ask him. I know him well enough to ask him. In the moment, I was too embarrassed. But I'll have to ask him today if he caught what was going on.
Did he see anything really wild? Did he see the crotchless panties or anything like that?
No, she doesn't have anything like that. Or if she doesn't use them with me. If she
leather or rubber or barbed wire. What movie? Weird Science. Somebody hid a Easter egg inside a toilet tank. All right. I guess that's not that bad.
It's a good spot.
It could be something, with some of those that your family is so good at finding them that you're getting more and more creative and you're desperate.
Gotcha. In a bag of used waxing strips.
Oh.
Who here on the program uses the waxing strips?
No. I've used them before when I was younger just to try them out.
How painful?
Not that bad.
Oh, really? Mm-hmm. Oh, I would have thought it'd be miserable. Oh, geez, Jesus says, sure, your wife's panties. Come on, man. Can't we keep a secret?
One individual hid an Easter egg in the back of a freezer next to a vial of semen. Now, this was a fertility clinic who hosted an Easter egg hunt.
Oh, that's
for the workers.
Who fertilized my Easter egg?
I gotta say, I've never done an Easter egg hunt indoors before.
Me either.
Oh, we have. Like, if there was an Easter with bad weather?
Yeah, once? No, I don't recall.
Have to go through it.
I don't remember a thing. Not a damn thing. Here's a fun text from Butt Spokes Jesus, and we know what the hell you're talking about, and that's disgusting.
That is pretty gross.
Yeah, it is. But kind of funny.
We had that story a couple months ago about counting the spokes, and I don't want to go into any greater detail than. He's talking about our big drawing today, where we're going to draw a name from the folks who qualified for our free grass prize from A&L Sod. That'll be a little bit later on. Maybe we'll even try to get these people on the telephone. We'll see. It's Friday. We don't give an F. Maybe we give them a phone call. Maybe we don't. Butt Spokes Jesus says this about our free grass deal. He says, in 2000 plus 5, I won a trip from 93X to the Vikings playoff game in Philadelphia. Fast forward to today, and someone is winning free grass. Why am I always the unlucky one?
Remember that game not going well?
I don't recall. Wow, you specifically remember the Vikings playoff game in Philadelphia in 2000 and then 5?
Yeah, it was after they beat the Packers in the wild card round, and then they went to Philly and just got stomped.
Boy.
That's impressive.
The Packer wild card round was at the Mooning game?
Yep, that was the Moss Joe Buck game.
Well, I remember that game, but I don't. Okay, now that you're mentioning it, now. Earlier this morning, in our intro, Josh played a little audio of Larry the Cable Guy live in concert. A friend of mine was bothering me at the bar the other day, talking about how he's coming to town. We got Martin Lawrence and Larry the Cable Guy coming to town in the near future.
We got to get a bigger town.
This is going to be the funniest effing town in America, at least for a brief period of time. I've seen him before in concert. Larry the Cable Guy had a riot. I was actually.
When was this? Like, was it when he kind of blew up, or after that?
2005, the day after the Vikings and Eagles played in the.
I
actually do want to say, Josh, it was right around that time period. 2005, 6, saw him in Las Vegas.
I don't see this as much anymore, but I used to see those window stickers that said "Get her done." Used to see those all the time. That and the hats, the "Get her done" hats.
My dad gifted me a Get Her Done hat.
Did he know what it was for?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he got.
Yeah, we used to listen to Larry the Cable Guy records on fishing trips and whatnot. He was a fan of Larry the Cable Guy, so my dad got me a Get Her Done hat, although it looked so ridiculous. I don't know if I ever wore it in public, but yes, that's great. I'm a fan. I don't remember where he's showing up here.
May 21st at Grand Casino Hinckley.
Hinckley. Let me just warn you, if you go see, I don't know if he's changed his act much, but let's say you go see Larry the Cable Guy in Hinckley here in a couple months. I got to warn you, and I'm just basing this on the show that I saw in Vegas 20 years ago. Josh, he does not have many kind things to say about his sister.
Oh, yeah? I've never seen his stand-up outside of just, like, clips here and there. I've never watched one of his specials. I like him a lot. I love the Get Her Done bit. I think he's very funny, but I've never watched a full special. I've seen him on, like, late-night type shows.
We used to have that on DVD, and I remember being way too young to understand half the jokes, but I'd laugh along whenever my parents would.
The adults would laugh, so you would laugh.
Yep.
And then you would go to bed and you'd cry because you didn't understand.
I do remember the Get Her Done bit, but I never understood why it was what it was.
OMG Chippendales. They're also coming to Grand Casino. Mille Lacs and Hinckley.
Oh, neat.
Looks like that Mille Lacs date I threw out there was an old date.
I was just going to say, I don't see it.
So that's my bad on that. Sorry if I got you excited and you got your credit card out for tickets.
I already bought tickets, dude.
It's going to be a hell of a show then.
Yeah, I don't see it on his website or theirs. I was going to ask how sure you were about that.
Oh, F me running.
Is he going to Hayward?
No, yeah, that's it. That's where I got sideways. My buddy told me he was coming to Hayward. We visit Hayward a couple times a year because a friend of mine has a cabin. That's where I got screwed up. It's not here in town. It's Hayward. I apologize. I'm sorry you guys were searching the internet up and down. Yeah, Hayward was
close enough, though.
It is. Yeah. It's not that bad of a drive. Good Lord. He says that a lot if you see him live. That's as far as I can go with a Larry the King.
He looks so much like one of my uncles. It blows my mind.
That's what he's going for.
The same weight, class, everything.
Yeah, he kind of looks like everyone has an uncle that looks like Larry the Cable Guy.
Can I, before we go, one more time, just in case you haven't heard already, can I go ahead and dump my Larry the Cable Guy lame claim to fame?
Please do.
On the crowd. His wife and I worked together at this radio station for a while.
Oh, neat.
Way back in, I'd say, 95, 96, in that wheelhouse.
Must have been 95, because I started in 96 and she wasn't here. But everybody, I remember people saying some things about her.
Is it his current wife? Has he had the same wife?
As far as I know. Yeah, as far as I know, he's still married to her. She worked on our morning show way back in, like I said, 95, 96. She was a spicy little pickle.
Yeah, that's what I had heard.
By the name of Kara. Very nice. We had a lot of laughs. Maybe we worked together for a year, and then she went off to get her own gig in radio. And by damn, I think that's how she met Larry, was interviewing him when he was on tour, kind of a thing. You know what I mean? Or maybe the story was she kind of helped him get recognized way back when he started. So she was always really, really effing nice. Really nice gal. And like I said, a hot little number, by damn.
Yeah, people always said how attractive and funny she was.
She was perfect for the gig. We got to get going again. Easter weekend is on the horizon a little bit later on. Randy Shaver and Brad Ryder will be swinging by. It's a big weekend for jock sniffers around here. You got the Pigs and the Timberwolves in the playoff. We'll be back here in a few minutes with the Stupid News Report on the 93X Half-Ass Morning Show.
Idly ho, neighborinos.
93X
Half-assed morning show.
Well, there's my beautiful podcast people. Everybody good? All right, great to hear. Thanks as always for listening to the podcast. And of course, thanks to our friends at Standard Heating and Air Conditioning for making it all possible. Can we believe it's April already? And like the old saying goes, April showers brings gross, disgusting humidity and heat in May. Beat the heat and the summer rush. Have Standard Heating and Air Conditioning out to work on that AC soon. April is the best month to get your air conditioning wrenched on before the huge summer rush starts. So get on that today. Go to standardheating.com and schedule that AC tune-up. Thanks for listening. We love you podcasters. Enjoy the show.
The Sean Ryan Show presents Peak Points. Get timeless inspiration from the very best of The Sean Ryan Show.
September 11th happens. What is the first thing that went through your head?
September 12th, I'm going back in the military.
Talk about being recruited by the cartel. How do you cope? Just learning how to find a new normal. One of the most tragic events in American firefighter history.
You know what comes after.
You have this beautiful life. You have these horrible experiences, yes, but you can do something with them for the greater good.
The Sean Ryan Show Peak Points. Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
Stupid news on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
All right, then. Our first stupid news adventure this morning goes to show you, doesn't matter who you are, if you're driving like a dangerous moron, most cops will not hesitate to knock your D in the dirt, especially if you're driving fast enough to instantly kill about a dozen kids in one push. A policeman officer who was unfortunately working down there in the worst state in our union, he pulled over a vehicle this past Friday, which was absolutely flying down the road. Cubby, it says here, 105 miles per hour in a 45 mile per hour zone.
Yeah, that'll take out a family.
What a jag-off.
That's crazy that you can even get that done in the first place. Usually, I mean, it's 45 for a reason. The roads aren't the best.
Right. Once the car was pulled on over to the shoulder, the male driver said they were on their way to a wedding. And when the cop asked whose wedding it was, a female passenger spoke up and said, "Mine."
Whose wedding is it?
It's mine.
What time is it?
It's 2:30.
Where at?
In Stewart at the courthouse.
Hey, you're already late.
We're trying to get here.
There you go. There's some of that, what do they call that? Body cam audio?
Yeah.
You hear the female passenger say, "Mine," when the cop asked whose wedding it was. And there she was, the bride, in the passenger seat, wearing a wedding gown and the whole works.
You know, they'd wait. I think they'd wait for the bride.
Yep.
It's not life or death. You just text somebody or give somebody a call and they were running late. They're not going to go without you.
True. You heard in the audio the cop asked what time the wedding was. She said 2:30. The policeman officer then pointed out that she was already 15 minutes late. Take into consideration, this was down in the alligator state, so my guess is they were running late because she's a prostitute or they were buying crack rocks or something. Maybe they had to kill the guy first or something.
Probably.
The driver was not the groom. He referred to himself as just a guest.
That's sus.
To use today's vernacular, it is a little sus.
But like I was saying, they're lucky they didn't turn a group of kids on bicycles into beef stew. What a couple of puke bags. Like Josh was saying, just be late, for Christ's sake.
I got pulled over the morning before my wedding. I was on my way in here, and I was speeding. Bad Ashley. So, it was justified. But the cop...
No, it's not.
No, I mean, it was justified that I got pulled over.
Oh,
I see what you're saying.
The cop said that my car smelled like weed, which it probably did, but I didn't smoke that morning. Obviously, I was on my way to work.
Right.
And so he had me, get out of my car and search my whole car at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, I felt so dumb. I don't think he believed that I was on my way into work at that time.
Did you drop the "I'm getting married" card tomorrow?
No, I might have.
He probably wouldn't have believed you.
Yeah, I don't. He
Even
was
if
like,
he did. Okay.
Yeah.
He's like-
you were still speeding.
It's like 4 a.m, car smells like weed. I don't know if you're on your way to work.
Was this the day that you texted me and said, "Oh my God, I woke up late. I'm running late," and I said, "All right, just don't worry about it. Don't speed." Was that
No,
that same day? That's
I
a
was on
different
track
day.
to be on time this day.
Were you always one of those people that had no idea that your car smelled like a freshly rolled joint on wheels?
I knew.
You knew.
Yeah, you can tell as soon as you get in because you haven't smelled it in a while. And so when you open the door, it hits you in the face. You're like, whoa. But I was one of those people that didn't realize how much I smelled like weed in public until I quit. Perfume does nothing. Absolutely nothing.
I never noticed you smell like that. Maybe because
No,
you're
I
at
didn't either.
work.
No, I was never high around you guys. It made me incredibly uncomfortable to even think about doing that.
I was going to say, like, even at promotions and stuff, I never smelled that.
No, that would scare me. That's like being high in front of my dad.
A dude that I used to play beer league hockey with smoked a lot of marijuana cigarettes and also had a terrible drinking problem.
Good combination.
That was the end of the story?
No, I'm kidding. We were out of town, hockey tournament, and leaving the bar, heading back to the hotel, and I decided I would jump in with this guy, Donnie. And I'm telling you, he opened up the driver's side door, and I wasn't quite there yet. I was a good, number of feet behind Donnie. All he had to do was pop open his driver's side door, and I said, "You got to be kidding me." And he says, "What?" And I said, You don't notice how effing horrible your friggin' ride smells like grass? Oh, no, I don't really. He just had no idea. I said, "You are absolutely begging to be taken to jail, man."
Nose blind.
Oh, nose blind is it. I could not. I think it was probably 10 below that weekend, and I demanded that he allow me to roll the windows down between the bar and the hotel room because it was just some folks, nose blind. That's what it is.
One of the best things about quitting weed was I used to always be nervous of that, of course. Getting pulled over, that was always my biggest fear. And then now that my car doesn't smell like weed at all, I don't mind if I got pulled over.
Yeah, now you're doing 140. Pull me over. I don't got any weed in
I'm
here.
like, what's up? I ain't got weed.
You might make a new friend with the police officer, man. I had an interesting ride home the other day. I was behind a car that I assumed was carrying Wiz Khalifa with the smell that was coming out of there. My God, I couldn't believe how much it smelled. And then I look over to my right because I see something weird is going on as his car's passing me on the right. And the guy was making an international masturbation sign out his window quite violently.
What?
He sticks his arm all the way. I mean, it was like he was really going for it. And the penis must have been huge, the way he was doing this. And then I realized, oh, that's Nick. I laughed out loud.
That's awesome, dude.
Well, I was even laughing before I realized it was you. I'm like, that's hilarious. I wonder what someone did. And then I saw it was you.
I passed Josh the other day like he was saying, and I rolled my window down and gave him the biggest, like, you're a jerk off type.
Oh, it was huge.
Huge, long stroking.
It was that was textbook. That was perfect. And it's killing me because I was going to text you when I got home to say how funny that was, and I forgot. But
thank you.
Man, that was great.
I was hoping it would just give you a little chuckle.
Oh, it did.
I know how miserable you always are on your way home.
It's terrible.
So,
yeah, like, what? I got to wait till when to get back to work?
Right. Now, I know zero about marijuana. Zero. And as a matter of fact, I'm very thankful that we will not be working on 420 proper. Because I'm just tired of talking about it. No offense, potheads. I'm just tired of talking about it.
I get it.
So let me ask you. Josh was just talking about he's following a car. And he can smell the marijuana coming off the car.
Oh, it was like somebody was smoking weed in my vehicle.
And I notice that all the time now. If I have my window down, and I like to have my window down quite often. I don't believe in air conditioning. I just roll the window.
I forget my windows can go down.
See, I go the other way.
Yeah, I know. We're different that way.
So I've noticed that too over the past few years. If I've got my window down and the car in front of me, or even the car in front of me is smoking grass in there and they have their windows down too, I can smell it as if that pal Donnie of mine I was just telling you about is sitting in my passenger seat. So is that a testament to the potency of weed today as opposed to 20-some years ago? Because when I was a young person, I never, ever, in the 90s, early 90s, late 80s, I never, ever smelled weed coming from the car in front of me, but now I always do.
Yeah,
so is that...
good question, because I've never noticed it either.
I would say so,
It's
absolutely.
more pungent these days? What is it?
Even in my lifetime, from the weed that I used to get when I was younger, like crappy ditch weed, that never had as strong as a smell as the weed that I could get now.
Wouldn't you be worried, like, just knowing that other cars know what's going on? That
Some folks don't care.
I mean, the cops are going to figure that out.
They don't care.
Honestly, like I said, I didn't really notice how bad it was until I quit. And then that's when I started, probably because I was so used to smelling the weed in my car that I didn't smell the weed from other cars. So I never really thought that it was as possible as it is.
It was a weird revelation the first time it happened to me, Josh, where I must have had people in my car, and I said, "Will someone light a joint in here?" And they said, "No, it's a car in front of me." And I said, "The car in front of me? How is that possible?" But it's a real thing.
I mean, the masturbation, the masturbation pantomiming.
Did you notice I was nodding?
Oh, yeah.
I nodded my head, too, like, you know you're a jack-off.
Yeah. I mean, it was so egregious and hilarious. But yeah, and that's how I noticed there was something was going on. It's just my peripheral vision caught it. It was so violent.
Here's Army Mechanic Jesus, who said levels to pot are almost doubled what they were 20 years ago. I don't know what that means, but I'm taking your word for it because you're Army Mechanic Jesus, and you've always been a good American. Levels to pot.
Yeah, I think it's just stronger these days, and that probably adds to the smell.
Couldn't believe,
God, yeah, it is.
Couldn't believe it. I was in denial the first time I realized that I could smell the marijuana coming from the car 2 cars in front of me. Couldn't believe it.
I don't smoke weed, but I'll occasionally do some of those legal seltzer things. But I realize I've become nose blind to weed, too. I think just from being around people that do it and living in Minneapolis for 20 years, some people are like, "Oh, my God, it smells like weed." I go, "Oh, yeah, I guess it does."
Ever since quitting, the smell almost repulses me now.
That's a good thing, then.
No, this is funny. I'm getting crap from asking me about CrossFit Jesus. I mentioned Nick passed me on the right. He's assuming that I was in the fast lane. No, that just split. It was if you're in the left, you got to go left. If you're in the right, you got to go right.
He was going 90.
I don't hog the fast lane.
No.
I'm a go in the slow lane guy.
It was a split situation. You were miserably going 94 east. I was very thankfully going 94 west.
You know, it's funny. Ask me about CrossFit Jesus. I'm telling a story about following a car that smells like weed and a guy making the most perfect masturbation pantomime out his window, and that's what you got from it.
Speaking of all these weed smokers, and we can smell them from a greater distance now than ever before. I'm telling you, when I was a teenage kid into my 20s, there's no way I would have been able to smell the grass 2 cars in front of me, but today it happens almost daily. A listener by the name of Scott says it's just like Jimmy John's, free smells. All right, here we go.
I remember the first time I smelled marijuana. Because, it was scandalous to me. It was very scandalous. Drugs. Oh, my gosh.
You remember the first time you smelled it?
Yeah, and I had asked a friend's mom. I was at his house, and I had asked his mom. We were playing in the backyard, and, it was Minneapolis, so there's alleys. And there was, coming from the alley, there were some people across the alley that were smoking weed. I had no idea. I smelled cigarettes. And I had asked her, I'm like, what is that smell? I'd never smelled it before. And she told me. Mm-hmm. And I remember being scared, thinking, I got to go home. I got to call my parents.
Speaking of alleys, Josh, a couple months ago, you were nice enough to give me a ride home. I was dealing with some car issues. And it's the most wholesome Josh thing ever. We pull off into my neighborhood. It's South Minneapolis near Nokomis. And get to a stop sign. And Josh looks left, looks right, and goes, "Oh, alleys. I miss alleys." That was just so wholesome and pure. I miss alleys.
And including our former coworker, Allie. I missed that one, too.
Josh grew up riding his little bicycle up and down the alley. Back to that listener who texted in by the name of Scott. Josh, you know what I've always noticed about him? That listener, Scott? I bet you've noticed it, too. He just doesn't get it, does he?
Scott, no. Sometimes when Scott texts in, I just want to say, Scott, sip it.
Yeah.
Sip it.
You just don't get it, do you, Scott? What movie? Come on, you guys.
Dana.
I can't always be the guy that answers what movie. Josh can't always be the guy. Are you ready?
Did you hear what he said?
I'm going to do it one more time. Scott, you just don't get it, do you?
Oh my gosh, I know.
I'm lost on this one.
I can't believe you don't know. Dana, zip it. Zip it.
Still nothing.
Look, I'll go get a gun and we'll shoot him. We'll kill him. You just don't.
$1 million.
Oh, Austin Powers.
That doesn't count now that he said 1 million.
I know.
All right, we got to get going, for Christ's sake.
But Scott, zip it, for real.
I should have known that. Darn it.
Speaking of
Dad.
movies, this is for you, members of the Rebel Alliance or followers of the dark side. If you still can't get over the whole Star Wars thing, and you're ready to get married, a Las Vegas wedding chapel is celebrating Star Wars Day on May 4th by offering a couple different types of Star Wars-themed wedding packages. Do you want to hear about it?
Yes, I'm intrigued.
We're way ahead of the curve, or however a grown person would say it. We got a couple weeks yet before May 4th, but might as well give you a heads up now so you can plan your ridiculous Star Wars-themed wedding.
I'd be kind of excited to see my wife in that the golden bikini, the Princess Leia wears.
Sure, you would be excited.
Even though she has the body type of Jabba the Hutt, I'd still like to see
Why
her
you
in
gotta
that
lie
thing.
like that?
Josh, are you a Sith Lord?
No. I'm kind of on the, I'm not a dark side.
Are you a Jedi?
No, I'm not that talented.
For one night, many
I'm more
years.
of an Ewok. I'm built like an Ewok.
Built like a
That's adorable.
A hairless Ewok.
You were a stormtrooper for one night, and it was quite believable. Okay, we're talking about Star Wars-themed weddings. The Little Vegas Chapel is how they call it out there in Nevada. They've gone ahead and said that couples who want to tie the knot in a galaxy far, far away can choose from two separate gimmicks. One is called, and someone's going to have to explain this joke to me. One of the Star Wars wedding gimmicks is called Yoda One for Me. What does that mean?
You're the one for me.
Oh, for Christ.
It's just a pun.
I looked at this a dozen times last night, and I could not figure it out. Yoda One for Me.
Yeah.
F me. Jesus.
Those are
I couldn't figure that one out.
those are very typical Valentine's Day cards.
Oh, yeah.
I don't play that game. The other gimmick is called just simply Love Star. Okay. And I have more information. So you sign up for one of those two Star Wars packages. From what I understand, it looks like every unlucky bastard in your wedding party gets a free T-shirt that says, "Till Death Star do us part."
That rules.
Oh, that melted my
It
heart.
does not rule.
No, it rules.
I don't think it rules.
I want one of those.
Both wedding packages offer an officiant dressed as either Princess Leia or Darth Vader. They'll play what they call here custom Star Wars music. This would be some Star Wars. There'll be a somewhat professional photographer in the mix. They'll hand you a video of the ceremony after it's over, and you get a damned Star Wars-themed wedding certificate.
Bisexual. You asked me if I'm a Sith Lord.
Yes.
Bisexual gamer Sheesa said, I'm more of a simp lord. That hurts my feelings, but that is very funny.
She got you good there.
Now, let's talk cost here. They want $600 in trade for the Love Star package, $860 for the Yoda One for Me bit. But that silliness includes round-trip limousine services and something called a Unity Sand ceremony.
Oh, yeah, that's when people, the bride and the groom have a different color sand each, and then they put it together into one container,
Okay,
and then sands mixed together.
We did that.
Actually, I'm aggravated. So, it's not your fault, but I'm aggravated.
We did that because
that.
of my stepkids. We thought that was kind of a cool
Yeah,
thing.
the same here.
Yeah, for your stepkids. Yeah, whatever.
It's for real.
So go ahead there, Lando Calrissian, and get your ass to Vegas and get married. All right.
I got a buddy right now who's in Japan at the Star Wars celebration. They're doing a big convention type thing. They made an announcement about a couple upcoming movies, and He tweeted something that he's having a good time, but he thinks Star Wars fans really need to embrace a learn how to take a shower challenge. Said there's a little rank in some of those buildings.
Hang on a second. You have a friend who flew to Japan for a Star Wars convention, and he wants to talk trash about other Star Wars fans?
That's what it sounds like.
Who does he think he is?
And he flew there for that?
He goes to Japan a couple times a year.
Oh, all right.
Text him today. Tell him I hate his guts.
What a cute nerd. I love that.
It was actually our wedding DJ, Jordan. You guys saw.
Oh, I love Jordan.
Oh, really?
Yep. He used to work here for a little bit.
He's always been a problem. I looked up some Star Wars trivia, Josh. I'd like to dump on you, just for laughs.
Sure.
You okay with that?
Of course.
And Star Wars dorks, don't get all uppity if this is inaccurate. I looked it up. I spent 5 minutes on this. It's just a movie.
By the way, people are saying they're now going to refer to b-holes as love stars.
How about I bomb the Love Star
Oh, God.
later on this year?
No, thank you.
Okay.
I don't want that mission.
If you watched every damn one of those Star Wars movies, however many there are, which line is said more frequently? Choice number 1, I have a bad feeling about this. Or choice number 2, it's a trap.
Oh, it's got to be bad feeling about this.
I watched a montage of all the times they said it once because we were getting clips for something Star Wars related recently. There's like a 5-minute supercut of all the times it's said, I have a bad feeling about this, and throughout the Star Wars movies.
You're correct.
Do they say it's a trap more than once?
I just know the one time.
Yeah, me too.
The famous one that you see is the
Admiral
meme.
Akbar one. That's
there
the
it
guy,
is.
right?
According to my 5-minute Star Wars research, I have a bad feeling about this is said out loud 7 times if you count up and watch all the Star Wars movies. It's a trap is said out loud twice.
Twice, huh? Yeah, I just remember the one, the famous one.
And just as you might suspect, may the force be with you is the most repeated line. They dumped that on us 14 times over the history now of the film.
This text says, what's the internal temp of a tauntaun? Lukewarm. If you haven't seen the second Star Wars movie, you don't get that at all. Did you like The Empire Strikes Back?
You're asking me?
Yeah. Oh,
Yes, I did.
yeah, that was a good one, wasn't it?
We've had this conversation a few times. I never was crazy about the Star Wars gimmick, but I did like The Empire Strikes Back because I was always rooting for Darth Vader and all the derelicts that he hung out with. I liked that Darth Vader almost killed what's his nuts?
Luke?
Oh, yeah, both of them. There were 2 guys he almost killed, Luke and Han Solo, right?
Yeah, frozen carbonate.
Yeah, right. Right? He cut off one of their hands.
Yeah, his own son's hand.
Yes, I wish
Killed his sex life.
Right.
Murdered him.
I enjoyed watching Luke get his hand cut off. I enjoyed watching Han Solo get stuffed in
carbonite.
Whatever. I just wished he would have killed them both, and that could have been the end of the series.
I love Darth Vader, but at the same time, I never cheered for him.
I don't know how the hell you could root for such a sissy punk like Luke Skywalker. He was such a whiny little punk.
Well, I saw it when the movie came out when I was 2. So I saw it a couple years, I don't know, when I was 6 maybe, several years later. So I didn't realize it. There's plenty of movies where I look back and go, my God, that guy's whiny.
It wasn't really about him for me, though. It was everybody else. Like, it was like Yoda.
Well, yeah, like Darth
Vader.
Vader.
Root against Yoda?
Yoda was a hoe.
Take that back.
I'm not taking anything back. He was a friggin' hoe.
Even
Yoda
at
lived
his
to be
age?
he lived to be like 500. He did some hoeing in his day,
He was a
actually.
pervert.
Oh, no.
All right. You know what's been nice? For me personally, it's been a long time since we've talked about OnlyFans ladies on this here radio show. And don't get me wrong, I have absolutely nothing against foxy ladies who want to get naked on the godless internet. I'm one of their biggest supporters. What I got very burned out on, though, was the never-ending parade of OnlyFans gals who took to doing something disgusting and ridiculous online to try and get someone, anyone, to hand over their money. I'm talking about the gals who were farting in jars and selling their damn dirty tampons. It just got to be too much for me.
Well, and then you hear these astronomical incomes that it seemed like that was the thing. Hey, if you're on OnlyFans, you got to brag about how much money you make. And maybe that's exactly what they were making, but didn't it seem like every OnlyFans model would want to tell you what they're making?
Yes.
It was kind of weird.
And I didn't buy most of it.
No.
Yeah.
So, and you know, those kind of stories were everywhere for a stretch of time. The fart jars and all this horrible and
Bath water. Ugh.
News websites also obviously got tired of the routine. They stopped printing those stories. So we've had a nice reprieve, but I guess this one was too effing bizarre to ignore. And even worse, this gal I'm about to tell you about, she's effing with other folks' property. If you want to be the OnlyFans gal to sit around and eat broccoli all day and fill mason jars with your gas, as horrific as that is, at least you're in the privacy of your own grandparents' home. This here gal is effing with other folks' stuff. Says here now, an OnlyFans model, if it matters at all to you, she lives in New Hampshire or something stupid like that. She was recently arrested for spraying her urine all over a grocery store. And now she's been hit with 5 more criminal charges for her terrible behavior at a hotel. She goes by the name of Kinky Kelly.
Stupid.
Both Kinky and Kelly are spelled with an I. Her terrified mother named her Kelly Tedford, but she's Kinky Kelly online.
I bet she never thought she was going to go by that nickname when she gave birth to her.
No, her mother has not, I bet you her mother has not come out the house in months. She just sits in a recliner and cries. Word is, at the hotel I was mentioning, Kinky Kelly urinated into her room's air conditioner unit. She also took a squeege on a blanket, on the curtains, on the Bible that they leave in there for you.
Disrespectful.
And the cops believe that she was, of course, at the same time broadcasting all of these horrible things to her $15 a month OnlyFans page, so a 46-year-old guy who still lives with his aunt could rub one loose in her bathroom. The grand finale put on by this obviously troubled Kinky Kelly idiot there at the hotel room. They say she pressed out a girl turd onto the floor. Are you following this so far?
Yep.
Ashley?
Sadly, yeah.
This was the grand finale. She pushed out a turd onto the floor of the hotel room.
More like Stinky Sally. Dana just passed me a note that said that.
With $5, I'd read this.
Stinky Sally.
Yeah, she pooped. See, and I said Dana passed me the note in case it didn't get any laughs, which it didn't. That's why I threw out Dana passed me the note.
I like Smelly Kelly better.
Damn it, that is better.
That is good.
Please pay attention.
Sorry.
Tell everybody that I passed you that note.
Oh, thanks for passing me that note, Josh.
You got it. That was the better joke.
This next segment of the story is very important. Do you remember what she did so far, Ashley?
Yes,
What did
she
she do
sprayed
so-
urine all over the grocery store.
Yes.
And then she took a number 2.
No. And she sprayed her urine all over a grocery store. Tell me everything that she's done in the hotel, though. We're in the hotel.
Oh, she's peed multiple times. Once on a Bible.
Yeah.
On a Bible. That's
Yeah.
important.
There was
the police believe that she has been videotaping herself while doing this.
You don't recall what she peed on otherwise in the hotel. On the curtains and in the air conditioning unit.
Oh,
Come on,
and a blanket.
And a blanket. This is the grand finale. Dana, please, if you have any more dumb jokes to pass to Josh, do it now.
I'm all up. Fresh out.
Okay.
How
You go
can
ahead.
it get worse?
She cut a log. It landed on the floor. And then she picked it up
Oh, no.
and 8 or 9 seconds later, she tossed her fresh poo into the toilet tank. And
You could have cut out the middleman and just went right into the toilet.
Don't do that to me, dude.
Yeah, no.
And the story says, quote, this is a frat boy move known as the upper decker. And that's accurate.
Did you see my face
You thought,
when you said the number 8?
yes. That's the damage that Kinky Kelly did for her OnlyFans page. It says here, her page is no longer online. You know, she's been arrested.
Yeah, you probably can't post illegal stuff on there. I'd imagine there's rules against that.
I was sitting here looking at her OnlyFans pictures that she presents to the world, and her mugshot. There's quite a bit of difference.
You're saying she probably photoshops a lot of her online photos? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, something along those lines.
She's not nearly as gorgeous in her mugshot?
No, and she's definitely not. I'm just gonna say it. Definitely not cute enough to be doing stuff like this.
Oh.
There's a level of beauty that pooping and picking it up is okay.
Yes. Yeah, I agree.
Yep.
Yeah,
Pretty much for almost anything is forgivable.
Like if you're Margot Robbie, you can do whatever you want.
How do you say her name?
Margot Robbie. I think that's how you say it, right?
Yeah.
Marble Robbie can on the floor anytime she wants to. You better be perfect, right, Josh?
Yeah.
If you're going to...
No offense to this lady because I love her. Rhea Perlman couldn't get away with that.
Rhea Perlman?
But Margot Robbie definitely could.
The story closes out by saying that explicit videos of Kinky Kelly can still be found online summers, but her OnlyFans page has been deleted. You can still find her online, it says, including a video where she takes a piss on some new clothes in a changing room. Is she not a character?
Oh, that...
Is she a character or what, Cubby?
Did someone tell her she was real funny at one point? She's just kind of gone with it.
Boy, if that's all it is, then anyway, see you in court, Kinky Kelly.
Kind of like I was saying earlier this week, it seems like the poop stories in public are coming from women lately. And maybe just the guy ones are so common they don't even write stories about it anymore. I don't know.
You're right. It seems like they are coming from the women's.
Ashley.
Yes.
Do better.
I'll let the women community know.
Yeah, next at your next meeting, maybe just bring it up.
I don't think anybody has ever told her that she's funny because she is clearly desperate for some type of validation in her life.
Oh, I don't think this is someone told her she's funny and then she's going with it, like Josh said. Usually that kind of person just tells too many dumb jokes at the bar or something. This is much deeper than that.
Well, I don't know. I know guys that they do something wild and they get a laugh, and all of a sudden they're the I do something wild guy.
But wild as in taking a dump on the hotel?
Oh, absolutely.
And
well,
then
there was a guy, my wife reminded me of this when we were talking about this something similar yesterday. The dude that we were on a work trip at Izades. That pooped in the bathtub. And then there was teabagging. There's a whole thing,
who knows what's wrong with this
You get one laugh doing something like that.
Sports on the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
He was annoying. What do you make of him? Is freaking annoying, but man, he was a hell of a player. Obviously, a hell of a shooter, and underrated aspect of him, he was a competitor, man. He was a guy that, like I said, he was annoying because he was so competitive. He played with a chip on his shoulder, so I would imagine he's going to coach like that as well.
Yeah, I got excited when I read the headline, Julius Randle hates J.J. Redick.
Yeah, it wasn't quite that, was it?
Current Lakers head coach J.J. Redick. I got pumped when I read that, and I thought, because you know how I feel about baby nuts. Mm-hmm. I hate baby nuts, Luka Doncic. Everything about the Lakers makes me sick. Wolves-Lakers series begins Saturday night. But he's not serious. Julius Randle and J.J. Redick, they're bros. They like to bust each other's balls back and forth.
Yeah, it was more of a compliment.
Maybe something will happen between now and tomorrow night where Julius Randle will legitimately hate J.J. Redick. That's all I can hope for.
I always hated J.J. Redick as a player back in the day, but then it shifted on a dime. I was in Orlando for WrestleMania. He was playing for the Magic at the time. And I see a guy in a Stone Cold Steve Austin shirt who looks familiar carrying 2 beers with a big old smile on his face like a kid in the candy store, and it's J.J. Redick. I'm like, you know what? All right, I think J.J.'s okay. He's a good guy.
He can't be all bad.
Yep.
That's funny.
It was him and Hito Turkoglu. Remember that name?
I remember Hito Turkoglu.
Yeah, they were at WrestleMania together, and they just looked like they were having the time of their lives.
More like Hito Jerkaloo. That guy was a prick. I'm kidding. I remember him, but I was at a wrestling show years ago, and a guy walks by with a satin Bret the Hitman Hart jacket.
Ooh.
It looked like something from about 1984. It was sprayed on, like, what do you call that kind of? Like
Graffiti?
Yeah, sort of that style. Yeah. It was beautiful. And it was former Timberwolves point guard Jeff Teague.
Oh, wow.
He had his own satin sprayed on Bret Hart jacket, and he was pumped to see the main event that night, which I believe was Ryback versus Roman Reigns. Everyone went home disappointed. All right, so it's a big weekend. The Wolves start their playoff series. So do the Pigs, and we'll get into that up and down with Randy Shaver and Brad Ryder when they swing by here in a half hour. The final NBA play-in games are scheduled for tonight. Twins and Braves this weekend down in Georgia. More to come, like I said, in a half hour. Don't go anywheres because Josh's news report is right quick.
93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Nice.
93X.
Nice.
Well, there's my beautiful podcast, people. Everybody good? All right, great to hear. Thanks, as always, for listening to the podcast. And, of course, thanks to our friends at Standard Heating and Air Conditioning for making it all possible. Can we believe it's April already? And like the old saying goes, April showers brings gross, disgusting humidity and heat in May. Beat the heat and the summer rush. Have Standard Heating and Air Conditioning out to work on that AC soon. April is the best month to get your air conditioning wrenched on before the huge summer rush starts. So get on that today. Go to standardheating.com and schedule that AC tune-up. Thanks for listening. We love you podcasters. Enjoy the show.
The Sean Ryan Show presents Peak Points. Get timeless inspiration from the very best of the Sean Ryan Show.
September 11th happens. What is the first thing that went through your head?
September 12th, I'm going back in the military.
Talk about being recruited by the cartel. How do you cope? Just learning how to find a new normal. One of the most tragic events in American firefighter history.
You know what comes after.
You have this beautiful life. You have these horrible experiences, yes, but you can do something with them for the greater good.
The Sean Ryan Show Peak Points. Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
I wouldn't have sex with you if I was starving and your wiener was a ham sandwich.
93X rocks.
That's reprehensible. That's terrible. It's heinous.
A longtime Florida firefighter is facing a grand theft charge after deputies said he stole cash from a dead man's wallet during a medical call in a hotel room last month. The incident happened around 6:30 a.m. March 9th when 44-year-old Ryan Hagenbuck, a 15-year veteran of the Sarasota County Fire Department, responded with a rookie firefighter to a call where an 80-year-old man was pronounced dead at the scene.
Mm-hmm.
After police left the room, the rookie said that Hagenbuck told him to go into the victim's wallet. And when the rookie refused, he told him to turn his back. Then he went into the man's wallet, pulled out two $100 bills, and slipped them into his own pocket.
Wow, the average dead guy's doing pretty well these days.
Yeah, 80 years old and having $200.
I remember last time I had $200 in my wallet.
When Hagenbuck asked the fellow firefighter if he thought less of him for taking the money, he tried to explain himself. I'm not a scumbag, he said. I don't do scummy crap. But then he contradicted himself. Everybody has scummy things they do. A little bit of lunch money from a dead guy, that's not bad. It's not going to hurt anybody or cause damage, he said. The rookie reported the incident to his supervisor once they got back to the fire station.
The veteran firefighter waited for law enforcement to leave, then told his colleague to, quote, take a little bit of lunch money. When he said no, deputies say Hagenbuck did so himself, saying he's dead, nobody is going to know.
Yeah.
It was the less experienced firefighter who ultimately reported the incident to his superiors.
It's a tight-knit group of people, so anyone that would be a whistleblower, I'm sure, would be, maligned somewhat. It takes a lot of courage to do that.
When confronted by his chief, the firefighter admitted to the theft. He apologized for dragging his colleague into the situation and called it a lapse in judgment. Sarasota County confirmed the man is no longer employed and had already stepped down before the arrest.
Sarasota County doesn't comment on individual employee matters, but told us in a statement, it's important to note that it was the actions taken by Sarasota County Fire Department personnel that brought these concerns forward. This reflects our commitment to accountability and doing what's right.
He's due back in court next month.
That's a pathetic sumbitch right there.
Yeah, it is.
I dig how he tries to explain that he's not a derelict while doing something that derelicts do.
Yeah, that's clearly a derelict move.
Mm-hmm.
2 Vancouver police officers are recovering after a man who was stopped for jaywalking set them on fire last week.
Who did he set on fire?
2 cops.
Oh, God.
The officers approached the man last Thursday night for jaywalking, but he started jay-running in an attempt to escape. When police caught up with him, they tried to take him into custody, but he used a flammable substance to ignite their uniforms.
What the hell?
Despite their injuries, the officers managed to put out the flames and radio for help. The suspect fled again, but was arrested a short distance away as more officers responded.
Wow.
1 cop was treated by paramedics and is recovering at home. The second didn't suffer many injuries. Police later identified the suspect as 40-year-old Jordan Mutual of Vancouver. He was wanted in British Columbia for 10 different offenses at the time of his arrest. Mutual was treated for burn injuries from the incident, remains in custody. A spokesperson for the Vancouver Police Department said that more than 35 VPD officers have been assaulted so far just this year, which they called a 25% increase compared to the same time last year.
I bet they did not think that they were possibly going to be set on fire when yelling at somebody for jaywalking.
Yeah, there's so many other things, like, certainly the fear of getting shot or hit by a car or something. Yeah, you're right. Set on fire. That doesn't happen too often, thankfully.
In Vancouver? Probably worry about whales.
In the middle of the street?
Yeah. It's Vancouver, dude.
I would like to see a whale riding a unicycle.
That'd be something.
A 24-year-old man's feline frustrations escalated from meow to pow, and now he's facing feline-related felony charges. Tallahassee police said that Darren Luray, he had a hissy fit, and he turned that into a gunfight after a cat spat with his roommate. Officers were called to the scene after a 911 report about a man in a pink shirt, jeans, and dreadlocks who fired a shot at his roommate. That's when officers spotted him in the parking lot. As they approached, he lifted his shirt to show a handgun tucked in his waistband. Police quickly took the weapon and cuffed him. Back at the apartment, the victim told officers the fight started over a cat. Apparently, the man had been complaining the animal was always in the sink. And after a brief argument, he said, "I got something for you," stormed off, and then returned with a gun, and then gunshots rang out. Inside the apartment, officers found shell casings, one near where the man was, near the man, and it was picked up 2 more inside. His gun was missing a single round, which suggests he either fired once and reloaded, most likely. He's entered a conditional plea of not guilty.
Well, at least now the cat can go in the sink in peace.
Yeah, I'm surprised that really set him off, having the cat in the sink.
That is kind of gross, but I don't think that would cause me to shoot somebody.
A 58-year-old, more of a stabbing type of person.
Yeah.
A 58-year-old man's behind bars after threatening to shoot students outside a St. Cloud high school Wednesday morning. Police had 2 students were standing outside Cathedral High about 7:46 a.m. when the man walked by, made threatening comments about shooting them, and then took off on foot. Cops tracked the man down and arrested him a short time later without any issues. According to police, he likely didn't have the means to follow through on that threat, but they weren't taking any chances, so they locked down the school.
I can only imagine what the high school kids had to say back to him. You know what I mean?
I'm sure it's very polite and
Yeah.
respectful. The 58-year-old was booked into the Stearns County Jail about an hour later, and that investigation is ongoing.
Sounds like someone needs to get a job.
A Florida man pulled an 8-inch chef's knife straight out of a package and stabbed a woman multiple times while waiting at a supermarket butcher counter because she called out his kid's bad behavior. The incident unfolded while the 40-year-old was shopping with his children and ex-wife. A woman waiting at the meat counter made a comment about the children's behavior, sparking a heated exchange with the ex-wife.
Oh, yeah, you can't say word one around some parents.
At first, the man kept his distance, but as the woman walked past them again to collect her order, tensions flared. The 2 women began arguing, then shoving, and the woman accidentally bumped into him. Technically, she was pushed into him. Surveillance footage shows the woman pushing him into a meat cooler before walking away. Then he grabbed a cast iron pan from a nearby shelf and tried to strike her, but his daughter intervened and stopped him. The daughter was the one that had some good reason. He then grabbed an 8-inch chef knife, ripped off the packaging, and stabbed the woman multiple times right in the store.
In front of his children.
Yes. He fled, but despite her injuries, she followed him to the parking lot, managed to snap a photo of his license plate. Still holding the knife, he reportedly threatened her again before driving off with his family. In the days that followed, he attempted to hide his tracks, stuffing his bloodied clothes in the trash, fleeing to New York, and trying to disappear. But investigators used surveillance footage and license plate readers to identify his vehicle and locate him. A search of his home turned up the knife and the discarded clothing. The victim has since recovered.
Terrible scumbag.
Just that lady's luck. All that cookware was pushed up to the front of the store on sale, and it was readily available to be used as a weapon.
Yeah, he had everything he needed.
Yeah. Christ, he's got a pan in one hand, he's got a knife in the other.
A 10-year-old from San Bernardino is a month away from graduating with 2 associate degrees from Crafton Hills College. 10 years old, making her the youngest to ever graduate from any college in that area. 10-year-old Alyssa Perales started taking classes when she was only 8 and will have just turned 11 at the time of her graduation ceremony.
You think your kid's got a chance to break this record?
Her GPA, close to 4.0. Meanwhile, on Tuesday, my 13-year-old sharted on the trampoline.
Oh, my God. No. Again?
Oh. She must have smarter parents.
Get the hose out.
I blame mostly my wife, but I have some responsibility there, too. That's the difference. 4.0, poop in pants. The young prodigy's not done yet. Alyssa said she plans to work in the artificial intelligence industry.
The Artificial Intelligence Agency?
Industry. I don't know if there's an agency, but there's an industry for sure.
What a cool little girl.
Tell her I'll see her soon, then.
Florida authorities
You know what I'm saying?
No, I know what you're saying.
Right.
I don't know what he's saying. I was yes-anding. Florida authorities are searching for a trio of suspects who used a fake religious front to deceive a homeowner, violating not just the law, but a few commandments along the way. The incident took place on the evening of April 10th in Bonita Springs. Deputies say 2 of the suspects approached the victim's home, claiming they wanted to pray. The homeowner, offering friendliness and faith, invited them in.
Hang on. Complete strangers show up at your house and ask if you'll pray with them?
Yes.
Okay.
You never had that happen?
No.
No, you have?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I've had a Jehovah's Witness card left at my door.
Yeah, I get cards at the house saying all kinds of silliness. Yeah, I get that gimmick now and again.
So I don't know if they just rang the doorbell when I wasn't home or what, but I've certainly got the card.
A complete stranger shows up to my property and simply says, would you pray with me? That's when I take my car keys out and kind of fan the keys out between my fingers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
Get ready to be attacked.
Thou shalt not steal must have been skipped in their scripture because while heads were bowed and eyes were closed, a third suspect slipped into the home and rifled through the residence. She stole $3,500 in jewelry and some cash. Then the blasphemous burglar slipped out the side door and drove off with the rest of the group. Since the unholy incident, the homeowner shared some divine wisdom for handling door-to-door disciples.
Don't answer your door to strangers. These people are really good at what they do, so just watch. If it doesn't seem right, it probably isn't.
Let's pray about this.
Yeah.
About what?
Hi, we're here to pray on you. Pray with you. Deputies are asking the public to help identify those suspects. The search is on for a crew of highly organized thieves who stole millions in merchandise and cash after tunneling into a downtown Los Angeles jewelry store, like out of a movie. The owners of Love Jewels, a longtime family-run shop, discovered the break-in over the weekend. They believe the thieves spent weeks or even longer digging a tunnel from an abandoned movie theater next door.
It would take me even longer than weeks.
Inching their way into the store undetected.
When's the last time you tried to dig a hole, Josh?
A couple years ago, but it didn't have to be very deep.
It'll kill you.
It's a lot harder than you'd ever think it was.
It will kill you dead.
They probably went in night after night, digging just a little at a time until they had enough space to crawl through, said the store owner's son. Once inside, the thieves managed to disable security cameras, silence the alarm system before cracking open 2 safes. They must have had 5 or 6 hours in there, the son said. According to the family, they lost upwards of $20 million, a crushing blow to their modest little empire of family jewels.
Wow. We are penniless. Literally, we are penniless. They took everything.
While LAPD...
You gotta be effing me. $20 million damn dollars.
I hope they have good insurance.
I would hope so as well. While LAPD hasn't confirmed the exact amount stolen, they say the investigation's underway, and they're urging anyone with information to come forward.
Yeah, they pulled the old Andy Dufresne. Just chiseled their way on in there, inch by inch.
$20 million. Minneapolis will stop publicly broadcasting its police radio communications starting next month.
Ah, darn.
I didn't know that anyone did that.
I like listening to that stuff.
Do you? It's been a long time.
How do you listen to that?
You just look it up on Google.
Oh,
there's also apps on your phone too.
Yeah, you can get apps.
So you can just set. Well, coming up
And
there.
there's police scanners. You know that. You got a buddy that. Was
Well, yeah, but I thought those were illegal or something.
No.
Oh.
No. But some places are making it encrypted, so you can't listen.
Have any of you ever sat and listened to a police scanner? Like, oh, dude, that's right down the street from my house. That kind of a thing?
I got an app once, and then I felt kind of silly, and I got rid of it.
There was something.
But I didn't know you could uninstall. Sorry, Ashley, I didn't know you could uninstall apps. I just threw my phone away, and I had to buy a new phone.
Oh, sure. Yeah. There was one that was in Maplewood not too long ago. It was like a huge police situation. There was at least I'd say 20 cops, and they had the cool big cop cars out there with the SWAT team and all that.
The big cop cars.
I tuned in and was following along. There was somebody that was holding people hostage in an apartment building, something along those lines. And I was really into it. I was probably 20, 30 minutes into this thing. And then they switched to a more secure, private communication. So I didn't get to hear the ending. I was bummed out.
I don't know why I assumed. I never took an interest in such a thing because I figured police scanners were illegal or hard to get your hands on. It's nothing that I ever, thought was terribly interesting. But so now in the future, you can't hear what they're doing.
In Minneapolis, yeah.
In Minneapolis.
And a few other places as well. City officials say the shift to encrypted police radio is a response to state and federal data privacy laws, which require law enforcement to protect sensitive information like names, addresses, driver's license numbers, and criminal records. With scanner apps and social media making it easier than ever to track emergency responders in real time, officials argue it's a necessary change.
If you're somebody in the city who wants to do ill against others, you can track what we're doing on the radio as we're approaching.
In place of live radio chatter, the city's rolling out a 911 emergency incidents dashboard, an online map updated every half hour showing at least the last 12 hours of 911 calls.
Oh.
Not everyone, though, is convinced this is a step in the right direction.
They've taken a tool away from the public to be able to monitor their actions and activities.
News will not get to the public as quickly because of this.
Several other Minnesota law enforcement agencies, including sheriff's offices in Hennepin, Carver, Dakota, and Scott counties, have already made similar moves.
I have a friend on Facebook. I honestly have no idea how I'm friends with this guy, but I think he dedicates his whole entire life to listening to these police scanners because all day he just posts what's going on around the neighborhood. Like, oh, a call came in for this,
Keep an eye on that sumbitch. I just can't imagine how anyone has the time to just sit and listen to what the police are doing. And Josh was referencing a minute ago, what's that gimmick called, Josh? The warped teenage kids, they call in fake emergencies?
Oh, well, there's a couple. Are you thinking of swatting?
That's it. This was way, way before swatting was a thing. This has got to be, at this point, I don't know, 30 years ago. A dude I know bought a police scanner and would call in fake emergencies because it gave him a boner to hear the cops mention his fake emergency over the radio, and the dumb bastard went to prison for that.
Oh, my God.
He would call in and say, there's a man being stabbed down the street, and he'd give an address near his home, and then the cars would go racing by and the sirens, and he'd sit there and go, I did that, and they went to friggin' prison. Can you even believe it? He was in his, I would say, late 20s at the time.
Man, yeah, no, I can't think that'd be worth it.
What a colossal jag-off.
Just get like a Netflix subscription or something. You can kill some time there instead of calling in those fake emergencies. Yeah, I can't imagine going to jail for something like that. You'd have to do something on the way. You have to rob a bank on your way to jail or something, right? There's no way you want to go to jail for that.
No.
In theaters this week, directed by Black Panther's Ryan Coogler and starring Michael B. Jordan, Sinners. Determined to escape their troubled past, twin brothers return to their hometown for a fresh start, only to find an even greater evil waiting for them.
Oh.
And for the family, when a designer sneaker gets lost in the streets of New York City, he must dig deep into his soul, S-O-L-E, to rescue his sister and find his way back to his rightful owner. In the animated adventure, Sneaks, featuring the voices of Anthony Mackie, Lawrence Fishburne, and Martin Lawrence. Happy birthday to my Uncle Dan this coming Easter Sunday. Happy birthday to our former coworker and friend Ross, turning 44 tomorrow. Happy birthday to Oren, turning the big 05, and Ellery turning the bigger 03 this weekend. And then happy anniversary to vertically challenged Jesus and former radio guy Jesus for their 25th anniversary of meeting on 420. That's 93X News.
A live turtle in his pants.
Yes.
That's a lot to pack in your pants.
Randy Shaver on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
Since you don't watch it, what be in your head when you pleasure yourself?
I don't pleasure myself. I've never in my life pleasured.
In your life.
Never in my life.
Oh,
no. I'm telling you the truth.
You ain't never pleasured
my next statement gonna sound arrogant.
What is it?
I never had.
Oh.
Hey, there you go. Never had to.
Oopsies. Looks like we played some licensed music on the show. You see, as a radio station, we're not allowed to play music for some reason. Hashtag so stupid. By now, our podcast guy has already removed the music we're for some reason not allowed to play, so let's get back to the show.
Randy Shaver, Brad Ryder, you guys have masturbated, right?
Oh, God, yeah.
Well, ask Brad, because Brad publicly acknowledges the fact.
Ask Randy first because he's older. He's had more opportunities in life than me.
Morning, gentlemen.
Yes, see?
I guarantee this will be the dumbest thing you hear all day.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
University of Colorado head coach Dion Sanders right there. He loves the Lord so much. He is such a devout Christian that he claims that he's never masturbated in his entire life.
Well, I mean, premarital sex would suggest maybe he's not as devout as he's suggesting.
Did he have premarital sex?
Well, he said he didn't have to.
Oh, right.
I'm having sex all the time.
12-year-old having sex all the time.
I didn't need to masturbate.
He didn't have to play with it at all. No.
Fun fact.
Yes.
I have pleased myself, but I've never pleased anyone else. Not one person.
And not for lack of effort, though.
True, I put in some effort.
Friggin' Sanders.
Can't do it.
Pram time. He was on some stupid podcast when he told that ridiculous lie. Never in my life, as God is my witness, in Jesus' name. Leave his name out of this conversation.
Yeah, he doesn't need
baby.
to be a part of that.
Especially this weekend, too. It's kind of a big weekend.
Right.
You think?
Then he said he never had to. I've always loved that line. It's not the first time I've heard some doofus try that effing nonsense out on a crowd on the topic of masturbation. Never had to. Uh-huh.
What?
Sanders is such a phony. We get it. You love God. There's no need to lie in order to try and prove that.
I mean, it can happen by accident.
You had an accidental
first time
orgasm.
And only time. Yeah, it was complete accident. I didn't intend for that to happen.
Your first orgasm was accidental.
Yes.
Weren't you washing a little too hard or something?
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you've heard the story, haven't you?
Yeah, I didn't know that. I was unaware I was even capable of such a thing.
Did you realize what happened?
Well, everybody else on the bus realized it.
They even told me it could happen, but I wasn't listening to them.
Yeah, Josh had an accident. I've had a few affairs that were accidents. I don't know how it happened. Total accident. Don't look at me. Yes, Randy Shaver?
I'm having a hard time hearing you guys because the music's loud.
Oh, is it too loud for you? Okay.
Yeah.
Everything's...
Is that better?
That was
much better,
thank you. Brilliant way for them to get to turn that song down.
Oh, you don't like this one? You're not a Billy Squier fan?
No.
Billy Squier. Boy, he screwed it all up, didn't he?
Yeah, he messed that one up.
With that music video? What was that, Rock Me Tonight? Was that the music video that murdered Billy Squier's career?
Yeah, I think that's the one. At least that's what I've heard.
God dang. I liked his music. What do you got against Billy Squier? What's your name again, Brad Ryder?
I don't like that. I don't like Stroke song. I just think
it is kind of stupid.
Yeah, kind of dumb.
What he's talking?
It's kind of fitting for today.
Yeah, that was just. That's the only reason.
I mean, it does fit the conversation. Yeah. But...
he's talking about a dance.
Okay.
When he sings about the stroke.
Sure.
Billy Squier. I'm trying to. Yeah, I mean, it was like 1985. He came out with that video for Rock Me Tonight, and he's dancing around by himself in his bedroom in his pajamas, and it just murdered his career. No one's heard from him since 1985. Rock Me Tonight, The Stroke, Don't Say You Love Me. He had some good stuff.
Yeah, you like that song, don't you?
Sure.
Brad,
Sorry, play that one.
What was the one? What was the big hit?
Oh, sure.
Everybody wants
you. That was huge.
Yeah.
All right.
I think you said Lonely is the Night, didn't you?
Lonely is the Night. I don't know if I said that. God dang.
He's got some good riffs in his song, but then when he opens, he should just not open his mouth.
You don't like his voice?
Wow.
Back in the day, a lot of what the hell was that?
I don't know. Somebody's getting amputated.
I think an old one of those wind-up Evel Knievel dolls just went racing by. When he was younger, a lot of folks compared his vocals to Robert Plant.
Oh, I could see that.
Yeah.
I guess, yeah.
All right, boys, here we go. It's gotten even worse. Man, Bear, Pig start their, how do you call it, series.
Yep.
Sunday in Las Vegas. Game 2. Start time, 10 o'clock.
No.
Yeah.
Isn't that ridiculous?
What
It
are
is
they
awesome.
doing to
That's
us?
awful.
10 o'clock Central Time, which, as you guys know, really means about 10:15, 10:20.
Yeah.
Game 1 is Sunday night, 9 o'clock in Las Vegas. Pigs, Golden Knights, by God, the opening round of the Stanley Cup. Game 2 starts at 10 p.m. Central, which works for almost no one.
Who's going to watch that?
Thanks for looking out for us, NHL. You guys are the best.
Yeah, I think it was Bring Me the News that had a headline that said Wild's late night Game 2 is the latest example of league's disregard for fans.
It's gotten worse every year, whether it be the NBA or the NHL. They both suck when it comes to this. F off if you think starting a game at 10 o'clock local time is anything other than a kick in the nuts.
The players are going to have to like change up their sleeping habits.
Well, it's only 8 o'clock out there.
Right.
So once they get adjusted to the time change out there, they'll be fine.
Truly, the issue is that Minnesota should not be in a Western Conference. They should be probably in the NBA. That's going to change once Vegas gets a team. Once Seattle comes back, they're going to end up with Chicago, Detroit,
Milwaukee.
Yeah, teams like that in the central time zone so that they don't have to deal with this, because this is a regular thing once the postseason starts.
Sucks.
Not so sure about the NHL and what the solution is for that, because there just aren't that many teams, in order for the Wild to stay in the West, somebody would have to replace them in the West, and I don't know who that would be. So
yeah, I don't know. The article that Josh mentioned was interesting because they talked about how there's a couple incidents coming up in this series against Vegas where they could televise it on ESPN2 if they wanted to, but instead they're playing some football documentary. So instead of putting them on ESPN2, they're going to wait until the bitter end of, whatever Eastern Conference game on regular ESPN, and then they start at 10 o'clock, 9:45. It's just ridiculous.
Oh, what if the Eastern Conference game goes to like triple OT? Puck drops at midnight.
They'll start the game. If it goes to overtime, they'll start it and put it on their app or
something silly like that. I don't know what an app is. See, the whole thing blows. It's such a kick in the nuts. 10 o'clock local time. Are you friggin' kidding me?
It's not good. It's dictated by TV. It's dictated because they don't want two games on at one time. They want the whole audience share of who wants to watch hockey watching one game.
Yeah, but the NHL certainly has a say in it. And they of course they have a say in it.
I'm not so sure they have as much as you think they do. Once they sign over that
I never said
agreement.
I just said they have a say in it, and they're bucking down, they're bowing down, they're being bitches about it.
Once they sell their soul to that TV contract, it's up to the network.
Whatever.
The network
well, then F both of them. F the network, F whoever. SB Nation upped and ranked every NHL playoff team by their chances of winning the whole damn thing. Hoisting the cup. Out of the 16 teams involved, they ranked our own Man-Bear Pigs as having the 12th best shot at winning the Cuppy Cup. And here's what they said. They said, this is a team that has the ability to surprise, but maybe not enough to envision them challenging the monsters of the West like, say, Dallas, Winnipeg, Las Vegas, or Colorado. Still, the way this team plays is custom-built to make noise and frustrate a higher-rated seed. And I can't argue with any of that.
That sounds correct.
They have not had much success against Las Vegas, at least in my recent memory. But if you ever watch the Stanley Cup playoffs, you know seeding means nothing.
Right.
Home ice means nothing. If you can get hot, especially on the power play, if your goalie suddenly gets hot, you can do anything.
Right.
And we've all seen the grand difference in the Man-Bear Pigs when that Russian kid and Eriksson Ek are on the ice.
Yep.
So I don't look at this as a completely lost cause in this opening series against Vegas. They gave the Washington Capitals the best shot to win it all, followed by the Winnipeg Jets, the Dallas Stars. Fourth best chance, they say, is the Pigs' opponent, the Las Vegas Golden Knights. And they go all the way down to they're not giving the Montreal Canadiens much of a shot.
Well, they're going to have to win one of the first two out there to make it a series, probably. Steal one out there.
Well, sure, that would help things to get a road victory. Now, the St. Louis Blues were a couple notches lower than the Pigs in this ranking of who has the best chance to win the Cup. They're all the way down in the 14th spot. But I'm going to say it now. I think the Blues are the team to beat in this year's Stanley Cup playoff. You want to know why? Because they've got Joe Boo on their side. Just like Pedro Serrano of the 1989 Cleveland Indians, which, as any good baseball fan would remember, helped them beat the Yankees, at least for the AL pennant. And they turned it into a movie called Major League. Just like Joe Boo, they're given Joe Boo the credit for the Blues' late-season playoff push. You guys remember the Joe Boo doll?
Of course.
Yep.
Joe Boo,
sure.
Pasa there, Pedro. I cannot hit curveball. Straight ball, I hit it very much. Curveball, bats are afraid. I asked Joe Boo to come. Take fear from bats. I offered him cigar and rum.
Mm-hmm.
He loved rum.
He would give Joe Boo. Funny-looking little doll dressed in white, long white hair. He's also got a big joint stick in his yap. Pedro Serrano would offer him rum and cigars, like you heard there in the audio, to remove the fear from his bat so he could hit a curveball. The Blues have their own Joe Boo. They've given him a spot in the locker room.
Cute.
Local media noticed Joe Boo in the locker room in late February. And when they, the media, asked any member of the Blues the story behind the Joe Boo doll, they say he just appeared.
That's awesome. I love that.
That's great.
It was magic. Just one day they walked into the locker room and Joe Boo was there. It's not clear if the Blues are offering him rum or cigars to get a blessing for their hockey sticks or whatever. But what is clear is that the Blues have been the hottest team in the league since Joe Boo arrived.
Creepy.
They've gone 19-4-3 since Joe Boo appeared out of nowhere, including a franchise record 12-game winning streak. Joe Boo has his own locker, like I said, with a nameplate. And they even included Joe Boo in the team photo. Look that up on the internet if you like.
Please tell me the jersey guy made a little Joe Boo jersey for him to wear, a little Blues Joe Boo jersey.
No, they're keeping him in his regular beach outfit that he is accompanying the team to Winnipeg this weekend.
He gets his own seat and everything.
And their goaltender, Jordan Binnington, said Jobu has been known to fire the team up. He credited Jobu's speech during the second intermission.
This is so cute.
A game they won in Colorado, March 29th. Binnington said it was all credit to what Jobu said to them during the second intermission of that hockey game. He's not revealing what Jobu said.
I love this bit.
So friggin' forget it. Forget it.
Every other professional sports team in the country right now is reading that and going, why didn't we think of that?
It is pretty genius.
Yeah, he helped the Indians win the pennant. If I remember right, it was like a drag bunt by Willie Mays Hayes, and he scored Jake Taylor from third base on that final play. Bob Uecker on the call.
Mm-hmm.
Friggin' Alex Ovechkin and the Washington Capitals closed out their season with a game in Pittsburgh last night. So it was Ovechkin playing in the final regular season game of this historic season versus Sid Crosby closing out his 20th year in the NHL. So hockey fans had their pants around their ankles. Both bastards got on the board, too. Ovechkin scored the 897th goal of his career in the second period. Crosby had a goal and an assist. It was the 73rd regular season meeting between the two of them.
Wow.
And they'll go again next year, as far as I know. They'll go again next year. It'll be a little different next year. Crosby will be playing here in Minnesota.
Well, that means they'll only meet twice then.
Right. So, what I told you a minute ago about SB Nation, I think I said it was, ranking all of the NHL teams by their chances of winning it all. They did the same for the National Basketball Association. Ranking every team by their championship chances. They ranked the Timberwolves. Where do you think they ranked the Timberwolves?
I'm going to say 8th.
Brad Ryder's guess is 8th.
I'm going to say 6.
Randy Shaver, are you writing this down, Josh?
Yeah.
They ranked the Timberwolves with the 11th best chance out of 14 clubs. They actually filled this out before the play-in tournament was completely settled, obviously. So
they didn't know the matchup.
No mention of the Heat, the Hawks, the Grizzlies, the Mavericks. They may have known the matchup, but they just discluded the play-in club. So there's only 14 teams ranked.
I got you.
They ranked the Timberwolves 11th. And here's what they said. They said things were always going to be a little weird this year after they traded Karl Anthony Towns. They spent most of the season in the play-in range, but they had a hot run that elevated them to the number 6 seed. They've dropped from number 1 last year to number 6 this year in defense, but it's still a team that is a major pain to play against. They say the Wolves are bigger and a little more athletic than the Lakers in their first-round matchup, but L.A. is considered a decisive favorite. It's on Edwards to put on his Superman cape and drag this team to another playoff run, not just with his shot-making, but also with his decision-making. It hasn't always looked pretty for the Wolves this season, but it's coming together late.
I don't disagree with any of that. Don't disagree.
When talking about the Pigs and how they can be successful, we talked about special teams and the goaltender. For the Wolves, in this series specifically, not going any further than their first series, they obviously, number one, have to stop baby nuts. They didn't do a very good job of it last year.
Well, I think both of those guys. I think you've got to stop both LeBron and Doncic.
Of course, but LeBron doesn't scare me anymore. Baby nuts scares me.
I disagree.
I think LeBron's not scary anymore.
I disagree. I think this is the time of year
not scary
where a guy like that can take over a game.
Well, yeah, he might, but
he's been waiting this whole season for this. I mean, he takes nights off. He takes rest days. He goes to watch his son play in the high school tournament.
Yeah, he's 40.
Yeah,
I'm not scared of 40-year-old basketball player.
Well, he's a different cat, man.
And I'm not saying that he won't. Of course, LeBron James is one of the greatest players of all time. He's still capable of going out there and taking over a game or two. But as far as the big picture, the series, I'm not concerned with LeBron James taking over this series and winning it on his own. I am worried about Baby Nuts doing it because that stupid bastard can shoot, and he gets every call possible.
I was going to say, I don't think one of them alone can do it. I mean, if they're both obviously on their game, it's going to be a tough series. And you just touched on something else. I don't think they're going to get many calls in LA in those 2 games in LA down the stretch. So they better realize that and be able to play through that and not get frustrated by that.
I mean, I think the Wolves have a definite advantage on the boards. If Gobert plays the way he's played the last 2 or 3 weeks, that's a definite advantage for them. But, you know, those 2 guys, and you add in, you know, some of their peripheral players who have played better down the stretch, the Lakers it's a tough matchup. But it's a tough matchup for the Lakers, too. I mean, Edwards, who's going to guard Anthony Edwards?
Not me.
Who's going to, for the Lakers, who's going to guard him? Because
probably Byron Scott or something.
They don't have a defensive specialist like we have McDaniel.
Okay.
So it's a tough matchup for them, too. But I just think the Lakers have too much experience.
Why can't I think of the guy that used to be with us that's now there? What's his name?
Vanderbilt.
Yeah, he may try to guard Edwards.
Yeah, I think you're right, Brad Ryder. Here's the thing. When they made the trade for Baby Nuts, I said it on this program. I said the Lakers are going to win the NBA title. Now, I hope I'm wrong, but I'm sticking with that. The lowest ranked team here as far as chances to win the NBA championship, according to SB Nation, the lowest ranked is the Orlando Magic. I'll give you the top 8. Los Angeles Clippers, gross. Houston Rockets at number 7. Number 6, Denver Nuggets, gross. Number 5, Golden State Warriors, gross. 4, Lakers, gross. 3, Cleveland Cavaliers. 2, Boston Celtics, gross. Number 1, Oklahoma City Thunder, gross.
It's virtually all teams in the Western Conference. That's the road that the Wolves have to go through to get to the final.
Got a text message here that says, let me get this straight. Sid Crosby, the Durantula, and Karen Rodgers all in Minnesota this time next year?
It'll be fun.
Oh, my gosh.
I was kidding about Crosby, but I truly believe that the Durantula will be here, and so will Karen. And it's going to make everything so much more fun.
I hope not.
I think, I've said this, the longer Rodgers is not signed, the more chance that is that he's here.
He just said something.
Yeah, right here.
A lot of narratives that have not been anywhere near accurate. You know, me pitching something to the Vikings, talking about me waiting around for the Vikings, that's not accurate either.
Oh, whatever.
I don't care what
that means it's accurate.
That means nothing to me.
He also said something weird the other day. I saw it this morning that he has something going on in his personal life, so it's hard to make a commitment that big. And I was like, what? What do you mean?
Well, I think it's a family thing.
Yeah,
I don't think it's him necessarily.
No, I have no interest in. I don't have any idea what he just said in that audio, and I don't care. I'm not interested ever again in ever hearing that man speak. I just want him to play for my local football team. Don't have zero interest in. If he said help, I wouldn't answer. But I just want him to play for my local football team.
I grabbed my phone.
Well, he's not going to come out and say that, I'm waiting for the Viking. I mean, no. I mean, he's not going to say that.
Give him the Jay Cutler, Cubby.
He's a call. The Jay Cutler?
Jay Cutler.
Don't care.
Don't care. Don't care what he says. Haven't cared what he says for years. Just bring him here to play football because it's going to be a lot of laughs. Wolfpack Softball Jesus has a prediction for what day is it when the Wolves play?
Saturday?
Tomorrow.
Oh, that's
tomorrow night. Wolfpack Softball Jesus. Our starting 5 will be fouled out by halftime.
Well, that's a factor. I mean, you got to make sure Gobert doesn't get foul trouble.
Well, yeah, Rudy's.
No takes. I won't say anything. I'll be super quiet.
Edwards says he's not going to get any technicals.
And the media all laugh because they know that's not true.
I don't even care about the technicals. I just want the kid to play smart basketball. Just make good decisions. Get everybody involved.
Yeah, and that's not
play great defense. If you're fired up and you get a tee, so what? At this point, just help your team as best you can.
No, we hear you. Anthony Edwards has promised. He's promised he won't receive any technical fouls in the Lakers series. And getting his teammates involved isn't always the easiest thing in the world for Anthony Edwards.
No, it's not.
But
I'd be A1.
But wait a minute now. If he does get a technical, doesn't he have to sit a game?
No, that clock starts over in the playoffs.
Well, then I'm not worried about it.
Yeah.
Not worried about it. Speaking of Rudy Gobert, there was a prediction made on a website concerning this Lakers-Wolves series. It says here, Rudy Gobert will be the center of attention. Every time he's in the playoffs, the hot-button topic about Gobert is whether he will get played off the court by the other team's playmakers.
Yeah.
And, we've seen that a couple times.
Yeah.
In his first-round matchup, the Lakers usually use a centerless lineup, so they'll do their darndest to get Rudy in foul trouble and off the court. I'm still going with this now. I said it a couple days ago, and of course, everybody, don't you have some comment from Aaron Rodgers we could play? You didn't listen to me, but I'm telling you, I got a feeling. Maybe LeBron and Baby Nuts don't play this entire series.
Oh, that's not true.
Maybe they get injured.
Nope.
No.
Now I really want you to be right because of how
I will be right.
Randy and Brad think you're going to be wrong.
One is 40 years old. The other one spends all of his time in the hookah bar.
I totally don't think that's going to happen.
The table is set for Baby Nuts laying on the court. Ah!
There is so much pressure in Los Angeles for this group to win because of the trade they made, because of what they've done and where they are. And they've played well down the stretch. I mean, they're a good basketball team, no doubt. But you're going to get your very best from both of those guys every game.
It's over! You're going to hear that from LeBron or Baby Nuts in this series. I got a text message that says, I can't wait to hear you talking about LeBron and a montage of him raising the championship trophy. Did you not hear me a few minutes ago? They're going to win it all. I hope I'm wrong, but they're going to win. They'll sweep every series, the Lakers.
No, they won't.
No, they won't.
Sweep every series.
No, they won't.
The final NBA play-in games are scheduled for tonight. Miami, Atlanta, Dallas, Memphis. Twins, Braves this weekend down there in Georgia. The pitching matchups for the weekend. Game 1, Jack Morris, Charlie Leibrandt. Game 2 is Kevin Tapani, Tom Glavine. Game 3, Scott Erickson and Steve Avery.
Oof, I like our chances in Game 3.
That would get me to watch.
Randy specifically likes our chances in Game 3.
Yeah, I love Tap, but I don't think Tap is the favorite in Game 2.
Well, Scott Erickson is the best. Just ask him. That was what I always heard about Scott.
Oh, yeah.
I think I've told you before.
As long as we can keep Mark Lemke under control, I think we're fine.
Well, he's a pain in the ass. Mark Lemke. No, it'll be. I'm looking forward to watching the Twins this weekend. They won a series here a couple days ago, didn't they, Randy?
Yeah, they certainly did. They beat the Mets 2 out of 3.
What the hell was I going to say? I had another thought on the Twins Braves, and I lost it. For Christ's sake. What are you going to do? I was going to tell my Scott Erickson story. This is 91 or something, 92 maybe. Erickson was a big shot in town. The Twins, of course, were either fresh off a World Series, and we pulled into Lord Fletcher's. There on Lake Minnetonka.
Oh, boy.
And there's Scotty Erickson standing on the dock, and he's completely nude with the exception of the tiniest little pair of spandex shorts. Black.
Gross.
And he's making sure that everybody, if you know Lake Minnetonka, that little lagoon you can pass the docks at Lord Fletcher and take a look at everyone who's hanging. They can see you, of course. Scotty Erickson's making it very clear that that's him right there on the dock watching all the boats go by with his little black spandex shorts that had little tiny skulls and crossbones on them.
Cute.
Little skulls and crossbones. I'm sorry, that's not intimidating when you're basically wearing. What do they call those again, Josh?
Spandex?
Speedos.
Oh, Speedos?
These may not look intimidating, but if you look closely, those are tiny little skulls and crossbones on there. I'm Scott Erickson. How you doing? Play for the Twins. Speaking of pitchers, this really cracked me up. Former big league pitcher David Cone.
What?
No.
He's a cone? He's a cone?
Oh, I thought maybe I worried you and you thought he was dead or something.
He's a cone.
Yes, he literally
is. A cone.
His whole family. Just cones.
Former big league pitcher David Cone, and he was great.
He was good.
I wish he never would have played for the Yankees, of course. I could go down the list of players I wish had never played for the Yankees. But he was great in his day. He had one of his hamstrings give way on him just sitting in a chair calling a Yankees game.
How's that leg, Cody? You got a little cramp working there?
Yeah, I got a little hamstring. Oh, man, right in the belly of my hamstring. Oh.
What happens in cold weather when you get a little older, Cody?
That's Michael Kay, Paul O'Neill, and David Cone on the call for the Yankees-Royals game. If you see the video, it's great because the three morons are sitting there calling the game, and then David Cone just shoots out of his chair.
Oh, yeah.
Because his hamstring has gone sideways. They're calling it the first ever hamstring injury in a broadcast booth. That's do we have that video on our website?
Yes, we do.
Thank you, Smashley. His tired ass old Cy Young quality hamstring just bit him. And they got the video up. He pitched nearly 3,000 innings, 450 games in his career, and never had a hamstring injury. Yet here he goes into broadcasting, and it gives way on him.
As he's sitting down.
Yes. They blamed it on the cool weather. God, I love that audio, Josh.
The cyclist cramping up there?
I know I go back and forth and declare different YouTube videos the greatest of all time. Just recently, I declared back up, Terry.
That is the best one.
I think that is the best. I claimed that the back up Terry video was the greatest YouTube video of all time. But right there next to it is that poor bastard in a bicycle race. And they got a live news team on the side of the road watching the bicycles go by. And just by luck, the newscaster, as she's saying, the Bicycle 5000 is today in Sweden or wherever godforsaken place they were. And just perfect timing, a guy pulls his bicycle off to the shoulder and his hamstring just tears him up and he screams out loud. That's what that... Oh! And
Did he fall into a chair?
He fell into a perfectly placed lawn chair.
Put it in reverse, Terry. Put it in reverse.
Hold up, there's a car coming now, Terry.
Bag up, Terry. Put it in reverse, Terry. Put it in reverse. Oh, Lord. Lord, Jesus. Oh, Lord. Oh, Jesus. What you doing, Terry?
Terry was having the time of his life in that video.
I've said it before. I'd give Uncle Terry anything he wanted. Shirt off my back. But that poor Swede, when his hamstring locked up on him, God, that's good. By the way, Paul O'Neill there in that broadcast booth with Michael Kay and David Cone. I remember many years ago when Paul O'Neill was still playing miserably for the Yankees, I saw a poll of major league catchers, and they were asked, who's the biggest crybaby bitch in baseball? And just about every one of them said Paul O'Neill. Yeah.
I was just about to say that booth must have been huge with those three egos in it.
Dude.
To fit those three guys. I mean, Michael Kay is renowned as a huge broadcasting ego, and those two former players, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
They were known the same way. There's only one microphone, I think, so I'm surprised they put those three in the booth together.
Just about every catcher said, biggest crybaby? Easily Paul O'Neill. One catcher said, if he doesn't swing, it's not a strike. Lee Corso is retiring from college football game day. Never saw it.
Oh, you did too.
No, I didn't.
Really?
Yeah, why?
You never saw one time Lee Corso.
No.
He's the guy who would put the mascot head on.
Well, yeah, I saw clips of it online, of course, but I never. Why would I watch? I don't like pre and post game shows. I just watch the game. So
I'm with you, Nick.
Yeah, I don't get into that stuff.
Everybody seems to have such big hot takes about pregame and postgame shows and announcers, and I just don't even notice. And I watch sports every day.
Don't care about pre and postgame shows.
I don't watch him live, but I do watch clips once in a while. He's very entertaining.
No, I know. Yeah.
What about the TNT guys?
Funny guy.
You watch that stuff, don't you?
TNT?
They do
Shaq and
Barkley, those guys are great. Yeah.
I guess that's an exception to my rule.
But again, I never watch it live. I see clips of it.
Yeah. Lee Corso's retiring from this college game day.
Yep.
Not so fast, my friend.
He's 89 years old. What happened?
Oh, that's what his catchphrase is.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
89 years old. What the hell are you still? What you doing, Terry? why are you still working at 89 years old, Terry? He'll be 90. He's gonna make. He's gonna make one more appearance at their first episode next year, if you understand what I mean by that.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And then he's done. He will be 90 by that time.
Yep.
What's he doing?
God, I bet he wants to get that final mascot head pick right.
Yeah.
I would have walked away 50 years ago.
How old is Dick Vitale?
86.
He's got to be in that range.
86.
Not that old, but he's
I'd say 86 or 87.
85.
Yeah.
85. Okay.
You have to give ESPN a little bit of credit for letting those two guys continue to work and have the opportunity to do what they do, because most networks would not let guys of that kind of age continue to work like that.
Right. I agree with you, Randy Shaver.
Lee Corso, and he hasn't worked completely. I mean, last year I think he was off and on, depending on, he was sick for a while. There was some health issues with him. And of course, for sure, Dick Vitale's had many health issues with throat cancer and everything else. But to allow those guys to continue to work, that's pretty special, really.
Hubie Brown is another one.
And Hubie Brown, oh my gosh.
Hubie Brown just broadcasted his final game this year, and I think he's 91.
He was still doing. I had no idea he was still doing it.
He's amazing.
Yeah. I'd like to shake Hubie Brown's hands because I think he is the best there's ever been.
Yep.
The best color commentary in the history of the sport of basketball.
Yeah, he's 91.
Totally agree.
91. What was I going to say? God damn, it's twice today now, Josh, where I had something, and then it went the other way on me.
I just think that's pretty special for ESPN to allow those guys to do that.
Now I remember, Randy Shaver. I agree with you, and I was prepared to give ESPN full credit for that until they scheduled the Pigs game for 10 o'clock local time. I will never forgive them for scheduling my local hockey team at 10 p.m.
Speaking of the Wild, though, I just thought of this. They're probably already in Vegas. I wonder if any of the guys are going to catch WrestleMania Saturday tomorrow night.
I had completely missed that, but someone texted and said it's WrestleMania weekend. Again, I'm ashamed of myself, but I don't even know when WrestleMania is anymore.
Saturday and Sunday this weekend on Peacock.
Would I even know the characters in the main event? Are they bringing Goldberg back again or anything like that?
Well, I mean, the normal names, CM Punk and Roman Reigns are in there. The big main event Sunday is Cody Rhodes against John Cena, the now healed John Cena.
We had our windows open the other day, and one of the kids in the neighborhood, I'm going to guess she's 6 or 7, she kept singing the John Cena intro song, and I was laughing my ass off.
John Cena sucks.
Yeah. She kept singing it.
That's adorable.
All right, we got to get going here shortly, but one more thought for the boys here. I sure wish the Vikings would have signed Jameis Winston. Where did he end up? The Giants?
Yes.
That's a damn shame because that guy rules. He tossed a video up on social media where he's dancing around with someone in a crab mascot outfit. I watched it twice because it's so much fun.
Oh, it's awesome. I think we posted that. Or Ashley, didn't you post that?
Yes.
And, of course, years ago when he was in college, he got pinched, you might say, for stealing $32 worth of crabs and crawfish from a grocery store. So I don't know if that's where he was going with the dancing crab video, but the guy rules. I want him to win a Super Bowl.
I do like him. He's so cute.
To me, that's the telltale sign that they're still flirting with Rodgers, that they haven't signed any other, quote, backup quarterbacks yet. You know what I mean? Like, all these other guys have signed
You're
with
talking about the Vikings?
Yeah.
No. No.
Randy, if they were going to,
no way.
If they were 100% committed to J.J. McCarthy, all of these guys like Jameis Winston,
they're waiting.
Guys,
yeah, but Brad, they're waiting until after the draft so they don't have to. There's some sort of a compensation that they would have to give up by signing a veteran guy or something. So one of the this again, I don't know the exact details other than they're not going to sign a veteran guy till after the draft. And I don't think it's because they're trying to figure out if Rodgers is that guy.
I don't know. I think it could be part of both.
I just don't think that's going to happen. No way.
Happy Easter weekend to the both of you.
Same to you, my little Easter bunny.
Oh, wow.
See you in church, huh?
Exactly.
Goodbye, Randy. Goodbye, Brad.
See ya.
We'll be back in a couple of minutes or something. I don't know.
We got a full tank of gas, half a pack of cigarettes. It's dark, and we're wearing sunglasses. Hit it.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Well, there's my beautiful podcast, people. Everybody good? All right, great to hear. Thanks, as always, for listening to the podcast. And, of course, thanks to our friends at Standard Heating and Air Conditioning for making it all possible. Can we believe it's April already? And like the old saying goes, April showers brings gross, disgusting humidity and heat in May. Beat the heat and the summer rush. Have Standard Heating and Air Conditioning out to work on that AC soon. April is the best month to get your air conditioning wrenched on before the huge summer rush starts. So get on that today. Go to standardheating.com and schedule that AC tune-up. Thanks for listening. We love you podcasters. Enjoy the show.
Bravo TV star Lala Kent holds nothing back on the Give Them Lala podcast.
It's very a lot. You want the headline. Here is my interview with Vicky Gunvalson. Who did the biggest number on you?
I'm not friends with Tamara anymore, which is fine.
Do you feel like you guys can repair?
No.
Stick to what you know.
Iconic.
Absolutely fantastic. It is like the Super Bowl every episode.
Give Them Lala.
Unhinged, but also amazing TV.
Get ready.
Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
Half-Assed Morning Show 93X.
God's sake. Creeping closer and closer to line dancing our way smooth out of this nightmare. Welcome back to the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show. We got to get around to this year now. We do. For the last few days, we've been looking at pictures on 93x.com. Pictures of broken lawns, garbage, yards, all part of a contest put together by this here radio station and a company out there in godforsaken Lino Lakes called A&L Sod. We were all looking for the worst effing lawn, so A&L Sod can award them with a free makeover. Thanks to everyone who sent in their pics and tried to get involved in this. Thanks to A&L Sod for hooking us up. Thanks to our listening audience who saw the pictures and voted for the worst lawn. Your votes have been counted. And our winner is a gal out there in... Are we ready for the winner?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our winner is a lady out in South St. Paul by the name of Jamie Olson. Jamie... Yeah, your yard blows.
If you can even call it a yard.
Your yard.
Yeah, it's kind of bittersweet, right? Awesome, you want a free yard, but also we're telling you we've never seen anything worse in our lives.
Yeah, that's a dirt pit.
And we feel terrible for you and your family.
What have you been doing over there?
And the promotions person said that if this had been a prize fight, they might have stopped it early, stopped the voting early.
Oh, so she just dominated?
Yeah.
Jamie, congratulations. A&L Sod has got you covered. Jamie Olson from South St. Paul is this year's free grass winner. We hope to be around next year to do it again. A&L Sod, appreciate it. Check them out. Check out their website, alsod.com, for your next yard project, big or small. And hey, for those of you who entered and turned out to be losers, you're still going to get something. Everyone goes home a winner in some way, shape, or form. All the finalists who had their photos posted will be getting a pair of tickets to a 93X concert of their choice.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's cool. I'm excited to see a before and after photo of Jamie's yard once they get the stall or the sod in there.
Yeah, and maybe this will inspire the other folks who were close. They'll get some new lawns, too. And everybody's happy.
There is really not like a speck of grass in this woman's backyard. Not even a single one.
2 grills, no gas.
2 grills, 1 cooler, no grass. Jamie, that's all going to change for you because we're going to want that cooler in trade. And,
what's in that cooler?
Yeah, and Josh could use a couple of grills, too. He's hosting Easter. Where should we go now? Oh, right. I have a text message I'm very much looking forward to sharing with everybody and all of y'all. We were jaw-jacking earlier about cop scanners, police scanners. You sit around like a dork. You listen to the police activity in your neighborhood. I never took an interest in such things. But I received the text. Now, this isn't specifically about a police scanner, but a CB radio. God, this sounds like a riot to me, especially if I was a young kid. The text says, me and a buddy used to sit in a used car lot and talk trash to truckers on the CB. They swore they were going to find us and beat our asses, but they never did.
I'd be scared to do that.
Oh, so would I, but I'm sure I would have gone along with it if I was an 18, 17-year-old kid. Oh, did that crack me up. Sitting in a used car lot with a CB radio, talking trash to the truckers so badly that they swore to find you and beat your ass.
Fun.
Oh, that brings me back to all I ever wanted to do with my life between the time I was 11 and 21 was sit on the phone all day and make prank phone calls. That's all I ever wanted to do.
It was fun.
Oh.
Especially the days before caller ID and all that kind of stuff.
Or star 69.
Yep.
We did star 67.
That was to block your number, right?
Yep.
Oh, man. Yeah, I didn't have that concern through that age range I gave you between my 11th and 21st birthday. No such thing as that caller ID. We had the time of our lives. It was wrong. It was hurtful at times. But I loved it. Okay. Here we are, the final 25 minutes of a Friday program. That's when it feels like the longest, doesn't it, Cubby?
Yeah, sometimes the very end can drag a bit.
That's what it feels
Although,
like.
if I could compliment you, I don't. Nobody would be able to tell what you said this morning when you walked in. I believe I'm paraphrasing. You said something to the effect of, "I've never cared less about a Friday's broadcast than I do today."
That's the damn truth.
Like you walked in, and of all the Fridays that you've walked in and said you don't care, you've Jay Cutlered a lot of Fridays.
Yes.
But today was the ultimate, the pinnacle.
Yeah, I don't care.
Can't tell.
That's very nice.
You haven't shown it.
Those long final minutes of this or that, they can just kill you dead. People have been debating, the social media dorks and the 8th graders, they've been debating what is the longest minute there is.
Oh, easy. On the treadmill.
Okay.
Treadmill?
Smashley's saying, she's saying that's the easiest question she's heard all day.
That is the worst. I mean, maybe cover it with a towel so you're not constantly staring at the clock, and then you're thinking, it's been 10, 11 minutes by now, and then you move the towel a little bit, and it's been 45 seconds.
The only way that I have, I guess, helped the time go faster when either walking or running is if I have some type of TV show on.
Okay.
That has always helped, especially if it's something like Family Guy. It's a nice 20, 25-minute episode. Boom. Goes by so fast.
Isn't that what you do, Josh, when we walk on the treadmill? Don't you catch up on shows?
I read.
Read.
Like, I usually do like show prep and stuff on there, and that makes it go by kind of fast.
That would be so hard to do.
Well, it's really not that tough.
He's not running at Usain Bolt-like levels, actually.
No, I'm walking.
It's not up to 8.
Yeah. No, I am not jogging at all. Yeah, I'm walking. It's not a whole minute, but like you feel seconds. I've taken the ride twice. I've been tased twice as part of a demonstration. I was a volunteer only because nobody else volunteered. I wouldn't have been the first to raise my hand, but I did it. And I never knew how long 5 seconds could take.
Oh, I bet.
When getting that 5 seconds, oh my God. I just basically after the first second, I'm thinking, I couldn't talk. I'm like, okay, I get it. I didn't need any more. So invasive and painful.
What is the longest minute there is? People have been texting in already, 651-989-9393. And we always appreciate the text. That's what we're going for. Holding your breath for a minute.
I don't know. I wonder if I could hold it for a minute. I doubt it. How about this one?
We don't want anyone passing out, but I'd like to see you try. Go ahead.
I never would have thought of this, but I'll bet. Gear grinding, truck driving Jesus. Longest minute is the minute before the jury reads your verdict. Trust me, I know, he says. There's times just watching TV where I'm holding my breath and it seems forever. Especially, what was it? We were just watching something the other day. And the judge read all this stuff before they said guilty or not guilty. And I'm like, just get to it, man.
Rip the Band-Aid.
Get to it.
That's a great answer.
That is a really good answer.
Every minute is 60 seconds, obviously, but people are debating what minute takes the longest. Some of these things, it seems like time stands still. Some of the more popular answers, I should say. A couple of people have texted in saying that last minute before the school bell would go off at the end of the day. I remember those days.
Yep. It's almost like the clock was going backwards at times.
Oh, this is embarrassing. You caught me in the shower. Well, if you're here and I'm here, that can only mean one thing. Somebody screwed up and played licensed music during the show today. So now that we've had that removed, we can get back to the podcast. Where the heck did I put that podcast button? Oh, here it is.
Oh, see, now I'm going to start to cry.
Well, you can't say it and me not play it.
Time stands still. Very meaningful, deep song there by Rush. Singing about children growing old friends growing older. They want those moments, Ashley, those special moments with friends and family to last a little longer.
Yeah. Understandable.
A lot of people saying planking. That's
oh yeah.
There are a lot of texts coming in on planking.
I tried that once.
Absolutely.
Yeah, planking sucks.
Like the meme kind of planking or the one where you're working out?
Working out.
Oh, what? Oh, I didn't know it was a workout. I thought it was just a funny thing that
No, it's a
22-year-olds did years ago.
Yeah,
regular planks. You got your side planks.
Oh, I thought it was just an online thing.
The workout plank, you're sitting on your forearms, and then you've got your kind of on the tip of your toes, flexing your ab muscles.
Yeah, get that core, baby.
I would never do anything like that. Here's a listener who texted in and said, longest minute, Josh, that song he just played.
Oh, you really don't like that song?
They obviously have no idea what they're talking about and have zero taste in music if you don't like Time Stand Still. From Rush, 1987, what album? Hold Your Fire.
Talentless Geddy Lee. Geddy Lee's talentless.
Okay.
Have you ever heard him? Oh, I don't know.
That person is eliminated from our text machine.
Blocked.
That's it. You're blocked.
Blocked.
You do not call Geddy Lee names on this effing radio program.
Now, here's the thing. You cannot like Geddy Lee, not like his music. You can't say he's talentless.
You ever heard of a little song called Tom Sawyer? Are you insane?
You can't do this on a Friday.
No, not on a Friday. Jesus Christ. I just got a text message from Tire Guy Jesus. He said the longest minute is waiting for someone to die.
Oh, yo.
I've stabbed you so many times.
You know what, pal? This is taking forever.
There's nothing else to just waiting for someone to die.
This is a real battle for me right now, emotionally, Josh, spiritually.
What?
Because obviously I want to get back to the subject at hand. We're talking about long minutes, but I want to continue raging about Geddy Lee and Rush. You ever heard of a little song called Limelight? I got up, I got
no talented.
I got
Wow, people are really coming after my mom with this topic about minutes and how long or short they can be. It's Good Friday. Leave her alone. By the way, that Neil guy in the band, just not even close to talented. He can barely even hold his sticks.
Give me a friggin' break living on a lighted stage. All right, here are some of these other examples, according to folks, of long minutes. A microwave minute.
Yeah.
See, that doesn't bother me.
That was pissing me off yesterday.
I think for me, the longest minute might be waiting for whatever I just cooked in the microwave to cool.
Who waits for it to cool?
Well, I mean, if you eat a Hot Pocket and you've burnt your mouth as many times as I have, you kind of, you're a little cautious sometimes, Ashley.
Doesn't stop me.
I'm very careful with hot food. I've told you that before. I take my time. I'm very patient in that situation. The minute before your plane lands safely. Oh, God, this is when the accidents usually happen, is what I always say to myself in that last minute.
And the person next to you.
I grab them quite firmly on the forearm and I say, this is when crashes normally happen.
I watch airplane disasters. I know.
How did the original Asked Man text back? Block.
I thought we blocked him. We're going to block original Asked Man. Geez, what's he saying now?
Oh, now I lost it because I fake blocked him.
Oh, I got it. He says he enjoys getting us jacked for the weekend. You son of a bitch.
Oh, here's a good one, too. I wish I could give this person credit. I don't know who it's from. The minute between when my wife says, we need to talk, and then when she actually starts talking.
Oh. And you think back, what evidence did I leave behind in the house?
Or when your boss says, hey, do you have a minute after the show? Mm-hmm. That can be a long show.
Oh.
Immediate response is, am I in trouble?
This is a good one. Waiting on a pregnancy test.
Oh, yeah.
Waiting on a pregnancy test.
How long do those things take, Ashley?
It depends what one you use.
Sure.
Usually, there's some that it's basically right away. And also, it depends if you're producing a lot of the pregnancy hormone that it needs to test positive.
Ew.
Sometimes it can go, like, insanely fast. Like, you don't even have to wait.
Do I have that?
What?
The pregnancy hormone?
No.
Yes, you do. It's dripping down the side of your face right now.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah. I've never been part of that experience, a pregnancy test.
I have.
Is it still the plus and minus, Ashley, or they got us like some fresh emojis or something for these tests?
Thumbs up, thumbs down.
Yeah.
Dana, did you
They
know?
have different ones. Some of them are, we'll just say the words. Pregnant, not pregnant.
Oh, I didn't know that. We had some cheaper ones. Somebody made a playable version of Doom on a pregnancy test.
Oh, yeah.
That's like some college kid or something.
That's the popular thing, is to find ways to run Doom on, you know, like the console of your car.
Oh, okay.
Or on your iWatch or Apple Watch.
That's cool.
Sofa King Jesus said, as far as longest minutes, that stupid minute of foreplay before I get to pork with my nards. I just want to pork with my nards. What's with all the foreplay? It's nards.
Why
Nards
do you say it like that?
What? He just said pork with my nards in relation to lovemaking.
It's just not right.
And they say romance is dead.
We got to take a break. We'll be back with more Rush here on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
In the 60s, I made love to many, many women, often outdoors, in the mud and the rain. And it's possible a man slipped in. Would be no way of knowing.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
93X. Former TV sports photographer Jesus has checked in on the topic of the longest minute.
Yes.
And earlier, somebody gave Rush crap.
Yes, someone texted in about this and
somebody
that.
ripped Rush earlier there being the original Asked Man Jesus, to get everybody's higher up. And so former TV sports photographer Jesus said, my longest minute would be having to wait for all the blood to drain out of the guy who said that about Rush. See, Rush fans are passionate.
They are.
They won't take any crap.
You don't play games with Geddy Lee.
No.
You don't play games with the late Neil Peart. You don't play games with Alex Lifeson or Rush fans anywhere on planet Earth. Or you're looking for trouble.
Yeah, don't mess around.
Yeah, speaking of long minutes that seem like a lifetime, here we go at the end of today's radio show. Some more examples of, what minute takes the longest. A hangover minute was suggested, yeah. A minute in traffic.
I thought I was going to have a hangover the day after our birthday dinner, or my birthday dinner with the family.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, because I don't drink very often, and I had certainly way more than I usually would drink on the rare occasion that I do. So
you
I thought,
had 2 or 3.
I had 2.5.
2.5.
And then I had 2 or 3 shots on top of that.
It helps that you're healthy. You take good care of yourself.
What's with the shots?
Everybody wanted to do shots.
Oh, you
shot.
Pour them in the garbage.
Everybody.
Next time they give you a shot, just pour it in the garbage. How about this for a long minute? When you're wanting to leave and the wife says, yeah, hang on a sec.
When it's taking forever to get out the door because everybody's taking those long-ass goodbyes.
Yeah, sometimes
the last minute goodbye, yeah.
I hate those.
Sometimes those, I'll be down in 2 minutes. That's a long 2 minutes because that 2 minutes actually is 20 minutes somehow.
You know what, though? Usually when that happens, it's, I'll be ready in 5 minutes. And then when I am ready, why are you not ready now? Now you have to put your shoes on? Now you are looking for your keys? Why didn't you do this while I was getting ready?
I like to make people wait. I do. Ooh, long minute. Pooping after taking some kind of hot wings challenge.
Oh, no.
That's a hot minute right there.
The last minute of an NBA game. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because everyone has 66 timeouts in their back pocket.
Gosh, those take forever.
They should eliminate timeouts from all sports. Who's with me?
That'd be awesome.
This is a good one. When you're watching a movie with your parents and a sex scene comes on.
Oh, that is so good.
That is a great answer.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I suppose when you're a young person.
Especially if you know it's a movie where you know the scene is coming too, and you're like, oh, no, I said that wrong. I should not have used that word.
How about the minute your doctor slides those rubber gloves on?
Yep.
Or when they're like prepping the needle to take blood or something like that, because I'm not squeamish to the point I pass out, but it's definitely not something I enjoy.
I like getting my blood drawn. It's
You're
cool. Yeah, I like watching it. It's super cool.
It does not surprise me one bit.
I don't mind it, but that's hilarious that you said you like it.
Yeah.
It's kind of like when
fascinating.
It's kind of like when Brad said he was pro diarrhea the other day.
Yeah, he's a fan. He's
I
definitely a fan.
Got a text from my wife. She likes to get involved in the program. She said the long minute is when she's ready to go out for breakfast and we haven't left yet. She's one of those where when it's time to leave, I better be ready.
Yes.
And I'm a relaxed guy. I'm never in a hurry to do Dick Tracy. So she does this to turn the screws on me, Cubby. She'll put on her jacket, button it all the way up and everything, and sit there, just wagging, legs crossed, like wagging the leg, you know what I mean?
Yep.
While I'm still, putting my shirt on, but she likes to put the pressure on me. I hate those moments because just relax. We'll get there. Christ's sake.
Is it like for a reservation specifically where you have a time to be there, or she just wants to get out the door?
You don't go anywhere that has reservations.
Oh, waiting for a train to be done.
A train?
Yeah.
Oh.
Save your... we're about out of here, so if you text about my mom, I'm not going to see it.
I honestly thought
I didn't mean it like that.
I thought you were referencing a gangbang.
No. I have a set of train tracks by my house, and sometimes I'll hit it 3 times in one day, and I'm going to remove the train tracks. It's so frustrating.
Yeah, it can be a thing.
God dang it. People are fast with the text messages. I didn't think we'd see any of them. Here they come.
That's an Easter gift for you all.
Yes, God bless.
Speaking of Easter, everyone have a wonderful Easter weekend. We're going to be back on Monday morning.
Shout out to Neil recovering from cancer treatment. We've been following along, and he's home now. We're very glad to hear that. Have some good spirits, buddy. Hope you have a good weekend. Happy Sunday birthday to Kevin, a.k.a. Pegging for Points Jesus, whose brother...
What's the total?
But you didn't mean not to. Jesus said, man, he just loves a good pegging, I'll bet. Happy 28th anniversary of lesbian medical laboratory scientist's 25th birthday. Happy birthday to Chase. I'm sorry, not birthday. Happy birthday when it is your birthday, but a shout out to Chase. Apparently he's having his tonsils out today. All the ice cream you can eat from Hung Like a Field Mouse Jesus. Happy birthday tomorrow to Grandma Peach Schnapp Jesus, turning 100 from Bug Eye Wagon Jesus.
Jesus, Grandma, 100 years old.
100 years old, still kicking. Likes the peach schnapps. Happy 39th to retired Air Force Jesus. Have a wonderful holiday weekend. We'll see you on Monday.
93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
You gotta be kidding me. Who greenlit this garbage?
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Well, there's my beautiful podcast, people. Everybody good? All right, great to hear. Thanks, as always, for listening to the podcast. And, of course, thanks to our friends at Standard Heating and Air Conditioning for making it all possible. Can we believe it's April already? And like the old saying goes, April showers brings gross, disgusting humidity and heat in May. Beat the heat and the summer rush. Have Standard Heating and Air Conditioning out to work on that AC soon. April is the best month to get your air conditioning wrenched on before the huge summer rush starts. So get on that today. Go to standardheating.com and schedule that AC tune-up. Thanks for listening. We love you podcasters. Enjoy the show.